Licensing reimagined.
Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing the visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Abu Dhabi. We have Magomed and Aliev going against Bogdan Guskov. We got a fight card coming up this Saturday morning. Fights are kicking off at 9 o'clock in the morning, which in my opinion is the perfect time for the people on the East Coast, at least, where you get to wake up nice and early, and then you have the night to yourself to do whatever you want. So looking forward to this card. It's a chalky card. I mean, this is probably the chalkiest card of the year. Tons of big favorites, tons of mismatches. I think there's like two closely lined fights. Outside of that, just a lot of really wide lines. So, but it's going to be a fun time here, and it feels good to be doing it on a Sunday as well. What is up, Weezy? You looking forward to UFC Abu Dhabi?
I mean, it's an all right card. You know, it's Abu Dhabi. We get a lot of the Russians and the Middle Eastern fighters on these cards. And yeah, unfortunately, there were a lot of people that just dropped out of fights over the last couple of weeks. And we've got a lot of short notice replacements. Like, my stats package took forever to make this week, Brady. I had to re-add Wellington Turman to the database. You remember Wellington Turman? Were you, how old were you when Wellington, who was president when Wellington Turman last fought? You know, he's back on the card. We've got all these short notice replacements. You know, Mohammed Saeed is a new fighter. You got John Pork is a new UFC fighter. Tuchalov. There's a few of them, man. There's quite a few, debutantes on this card. So, and like you said, a lot of wide lines. So we're going to have to really analyze the shit out of the only two fair fights on this card and then maybe look for some props, man. It might be that kind of week.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my prediction videos out like after the fight cards on Saturday. When it was brutal taping this card, trying to watch, you know, tons of newcomers, especially there was this one guy that I was watching. We'll talk about. He was just so boring, dude. Vagaev.
Yeah.
Abubakar Vagaev. I fell asleep like 50 times watching this guy's fight. I mean, this guy's the most boring fight I've ever seen. I can't believe they're giving him a shot here. But it was brutal taping these new. Kind of felt like a Contender Series card, some of these fights. But there are some very good newcomers. We got Chonko finally making his debut. I was really impressed with Abdul Hussein, who we'll talk about. Tuchalov, you know, he looks okay, but he's going against Ribeiro, so he's going to look really good in that fight. There's some really good newcomers that I'm looking forward to breaking down. So before we get into, if you guys could do us a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment if you guys are watching on the replay. And if you guys are watching on X, be sure to hit the retweet, hit the repost. We do appreciate that quite a bit. We are here on a Sunday. No more World Cup. No more World Cup No more World Cup taking our views. No more. All done. Spain won, I guess. Crazy.
Yeah, they looked good, too. There was like a basic shutout over Argentina. Argentina didn't even have a shot on goal until like the last couple minutes of the game. So it was a great performance by Spain.
Wow. They had like only one shot on goal for the whole game?
Yeah, it was. They were just shutting them out. It was an incredible performance. But Argentina was hanging around, and they almost got a goal right at the end, too, to send it to penalty kicks. But it's over now, Brady, and we don't have to worry about soccer taking our views for another 4 years. So now, for all you soccer fans, time to lock in. All right? You got 4 years till the next World Cup, so it's all about MMA until then.
Lock in.
Lock in.
Lock
Let's
in.
go.
All right, let's do a hit up the chat here. Oh, let's shout out our sponsor real quick. And our sponsor is going to be Underdog Fantasy. Right now, if you go to Underdog Fantasy and use code DFSBTN, you will get $50 in bonus funds when you play with your first $5 lineup. Let me repeat, Wheezy. Yeah. They get $50 free. Who doesn't like free money? Who doesn't like free money? If you want free money, go to Underdog, use code DFSBTN, do a $5 lineup. You'll get $50 in bonus funds, whether you have a friend, family, loved one. Get them on Underdog, please, for the love of God. For the love of God. let's shout, and then we'll get to the Homa fight in a little bit. Can't wait to open up some cards as well.
Nice.
We got Dixon first one in the building. Dear Brady and Wheezy, I'm starting a signed petition to intake Kamaru Usman into a retirement home in Florida. There you go. He couldn't muster up one miserable takedown for us. Not even worth the McDonald's pick, to be honest. Yeah, that was. We'll talk about that fight. That was absolutely wild. Just absolutely crazy. 0 takedowns for Kamaru Usman against Dricus du Plessis.
Hey, did that remind you of when Bilal Muhammad got 0 takedowns against Gabriel Bonfim?
Yeah, that was bad, but he couldn't take down Dricus du Plessis.
I know, man. I know.
That's crazy, man.
I know. It reminded me of when Stuart Nickel couldn't take down Lucas Rocha.
And then all of a sudden, Stuart Nichols, a D1 wrestler against Alden Korea. You gotta love the sport, man.
Yeah,
last night's card felt like getting kicked in the balls 800 times. Easily my least favorite card of the year, even though the action was good for the most part. Yeah, I got blue balls after last night. Tons and tons of bad beats. Just crazy, man. Crazy. Christian Leroy Blumpkin. Yeah. By the way, you guys can vote to see who needs. Oh, crap. You guys can vote to see who needs to get help. The options are CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan, Chris Duncan, and Christian Duncan. Those are the options for who needs to get help or last night. CLD and Alden Korea need to get some help. I would tend to agree with that. Saw someone said it looked like Alden told people to bet on him by sub, and in hindsight it did. He was going for it. I mean, he attempted. Yeah. I think they credited him with 4 submission attempts, which is crazy. We got AJ in the building. Yeah, it was a bad performance. They gave Alden Korea a layup, and he airballed the layup, threw it over the backboard. I mean, it was embarrassing, and that's tough to do. I've only seen that once, actually. It was like in 6th grade basketball. This kid was a wide open layup and he threw it over the backboard. I mean, it's got to be so embarrassing. Alden Korea, you should be embarrassed with yourself. I mean, that was horrible. Oh, we got Daz in the building. Ramazan Temirov is plus money's still if you think Urseg winning till he not. Yeah, we'll talk about that fight. And yeah, it looks like that line is approaching a pick-em. Dricus is back. Yeah, what's up, Justin? We got the Cookie Monster. What is up? Ismael Bonfim fight. I guess it is. We got one fade. Bradium also late. We were not late, though. We're right here. Uncle and Brady, let's bounce back. Let's do it. I don't want to hear anyone be on the side of Tyrell Fortune. I'm not a big Tyrell Fortune guy. So what's up, Charles? What's good? We got TH. What's good? Dim. In the poll, who's Christian? You mean Christian? Did I spell it wrong? I mean, who cares? He stinks anyway. I'll spell his name wrong if I want to. Why was Korea a huge favorite? He robbed Stuart Nickel. I mean, I don't know, man. It was a bad performance. Up 7 units on DDP Usman. Don't want anybody to break into my office. DDP Usman over 3.5 rounds was sweating the whole fight. I bet. We got Wellington Turman fight week. We are so back. Korea. Stat Diggers opening song, Trump's long time coming. Cardiacs on my eyes from Hustlin'. What's that?
I think it's cataracts under my eyes.
Brady, are you still soccer scarred from Vegas? Yeah, I hate soccer now after what happened. I hate it. Brady, thank you so much. Help me turn 5 into 1.5K on a 12-legger. Holy crap, dude. I actually was 2 for 2 on parlays last night. 2 for 2 on parlays. Brady, SDF, how about you come over here and make me, Otto? You're a car. What are you going to do? You're a car. Korea needs some help. Agreed. Y'all see Bisping's post-fight telling CLD he's going to be champ one. Come on. We got Londo. What's good? What's up, Andy? Why is Izagakhmaev, Vagaev on the main card? I think they made a mistake. I mean, that fight's going to be worse than the Ankalaev fight, and that's saying a lot. We got Eileen Perez's butthole. What is up? Did you break down Abdul Hussein's fight? Not yet, but we will. All right, Weez, let's do a quick recap of last night. And I mean, I have no words. I've had my fair share of bad beats in the past, but it's like, holy crap, man! Like, really? Like some of these bad beats last night is like, really? I didn't make a bad bet last night. All my bets were really good. The first bet I had was Barbosa Melisano under 2.5 rounds, 2 units at -110. Also, probably should have been on the Barbosa sub one at +330. I saw it at, but so hit the under there. Started the night off right, and this is where the bad beat starts, man. I got Alden Korea round 2, round 3, +700. And Korea goes out there and proceeds to, first of all, drop the ball. I mean, he could have easily knocked out Stuart Nickel at any point in the fight had he wanted to. But he started grappling with him, and he had 3 very deep, very tight submission attempts in round 3 against the tired Stuart Nickel. Quite frankly, I don't know how he didn't finish, some of those submission attempts. So lost the round 3 at +700. That was a punch in the dick. I had John Paul Labosniani inside the distance at +400, and he proceeds to land big shots against Ko, who I thought was chinny, who's been knocked out by bums on the regional scene. All of a sudden, Ko showing a chin, and JPL also had two mounted guillotines, and I lose my JPL inside the distance at +400. I had the Franco Rodriguez fight doesn't go in a parlay. That hit. I had the McMillan Montez under 1.5 for 1.5 units. That didn't hit. It was one of those bets where it's like, I mean, what can you do? There was 100 significant strikes combined in round 1. Both guys got hurt combined, I think, 6 times in round 1. I mean, it's like, what can you do? The fight ended in round 3. So lost the under there. Small sprinkle on Klein, 2-3 KO. My night came down to Hooper Ramirez fight doesn't go, though. I had Hooper Ramirez fight doesn't go in 2 parlays, and that came through. And then ended up the end of the night with Christian Leroy Duncan inside the distance at +180. It's like, really, dude? Really, Christian? He had to have heard Cannonier at least 10 times. And each time he heard him, he would do some spinning stuff, dude. And then he would spin right into the clinch every single time. Instead of just, throwing a couple follow-up shots, he would try to spin, or he would clinch. It's like, what do you do? At one point, he hurt Cannonier, and he actually spun and he fell down. I'm like, why'd you fall down, dude? I mean, it was embarrassing. But yeah, lost the inside the distance there. And then I had the Dricus Duplessis finish only, that obviously pushed, but it's like, holy crap. Dricus landed 20 flush head kicks. Kamaru Usman got rocked 20 different times. He ate knees, he ate head kicks, and Dricus decided to not follow up at any point after Kamaru Usman got hurt. Like, I've been going on to Twitter, the last, several hours, and each time I log into Twitter, it's like there's a different clip of Kamaru getting rocked. It's like, how did Dricus not finish that fight? It almost looked like he bet the decision prop. So overall, ended down a half unit, which is my biggest loss since like April. So it's been a phenomenal run. And the reads I thought were phenomenal last night. In an alternate universe, Weezy, it's a 10-unit night. Yeah. It's a 10-unit night. Alden Korea gets a 3rd-round sub. Tommy McMillan gets a 1st-round KO. Fatima Klein gets a 2nd or 3rd-round finish. Christian Leroy Duncan finishes Jared Cannonier. DDP finishes Usman. In an alternate universe, it's a 10-unit night. But in this shit universe, it's a half-unit loss. Weezy, I know you're on some bad beats as well last night.
Yeah, man. It was probably my best week of reads and just best week of reads in a long time for me. I was 9-2 on fight picks. I hit the dog pick of the week was Labosniani. The ass shaving of the week was McMillan. My greasy 4-legger hit 3 of 4 legs. The only leg that didn't hit was the under 1.5 rounds for McMillan Montez. And yeah, Montez had been knocked out before on the regional scene by a guy named Ira. And Tommy wasn't able to get him out of there. But he did break the significant strikes record. So it's always nice when somebody breaks the fucking significant strikes record, but the fight doesn't go under. The bets that I hit were under 1.5 rounds for Franco versus Rodriguez, 1.5 units on that at -120. I had a 2-leg parlay, the over 1.5 rounds for Korea Nickel, and the fight doesn't go to decision for Hooper versus Ramirez. That hit for 1.21 units. The losing bets were I had 1 unit on Christian Leroy dumbass to win inside the distance, but he fought like a fucking dumbass and screwed that one up. I had a total of 1 unit in bets on what was just the biggest trap bet of the week. They had Fatima Klein inside the distance at plus 330, but her decision prop at minus 150. And she had been beaten 7 shades of shit out of everybody they put in front of her that was in her weight class. And she proceeded to do that again, just kind of like ran through Tabitha Ricci, but fucking Ricci wouldn't quit out there. Cost me a unit. And then, lost 1.5 units on the under 1.5 rounds for McMillan versus Montez. Not sure how that one didn't finish. So, yeah, I mean, I made all good bets. It's just that only 2 of the bets cashed, and I lost on 6 of them because I had 3 bets on Klein finish props, totaling 1 unit, 1.5 unit bet on that under 1.5 rounds for McMillan, 1 unit bet on Dumbass to win inside the distance. And then I had a 1/4 unit hedge on Jared Cannonier to win by decision, just in case the fight did go to decision. But yeah, Dumbass actually won the minutes for once in his life too. So yeah, it was a brutal week. I mean, every bet should have hit, but I wound up down 1.29 units, 1 leg away from cashing the greasy 4-legger. It was a real close. It was real close to being a big night, but just a really frustrating night overall.
Yeah, man. Yeah, lots of bad beats, but yeah, the reads were good, and the thing is, it's like a small loss. It's not like, honestly, with as much dick kicking that I got last night, it feels like it should have been like a 6-unit loss, which would have been it would hurt, but it's like a half-unit loss. So it's like, what can you do? It just made no sense, man. It just absolutely made no sense how DDP was not able to find a finish, how Duncan was not able to find a finish, how Korea wasn't able to find a finish. It just nothing made sense last night. But picks were good. I think
one thing, Brady, real quick. Once again, if you bet on wrestlers, you got fucked. Dude, what the hell was that from Kamaru Usman? Why is he taking a fight if he can't wrestle? And what was the game plan? Seriously. What was the game plan there? Were you going to outbox this dude up at 185? Was that the game plan? Because, like, I feel bad for everybody that bet on Usman because we were watching the fight live going, and he didn't shoot his first takedown, I believe, until 14 minutes into the fight. Dude, I'm done betting grapplers, Brady. I'm done. Because none of these guys wrestle when they should. It just happens over and over and over again. Even Austin Bashi couldn't get takedowns on Jose Delgado last night. I mean, Delgado was a guy who got controlled for like over 14 minutes in the Chris McCate fight, and Bashi was unable to get takedowns. So, yeah, these wrestlers, man, I mean, it's unbelievable. You sit there and think, well, there's no way they could have that bad of a fucking game plan. Like, Trevor Whitman is supposed to be a good coach. Like, if I'm a good coach and Usman is 60 seconds into that fight and he hasn't shot a takedown yet, I'm losing my mind. And if I'm coaching Kamaru Usman and he tells me, Coach, I can't shoot, I say, son, it's over. It's over. I know you want to show up for a check, but why would you do that? You could get badly hurt out there. I mean, I don't know what that was. And then he's getting knocked out by Leon Scott, right? By a head kick. And then a guy who's 3 times stronger nukes him with 8 consecutive head kicks, and he walks through all of them. Like, I was having such a bad night. All my good bets weren't cashing. And what did I say right before the DDP fight, Brady? I said live on the air, you know what? I should just bet fucking DDP inside the distance. This guy Usman's too old to wrestle. He's going to get nuked. He's going to get knocked out. He got knocked out by Leon Scott. And he eats 10 flush head kicks, and Drickus doesn't finish. Like, Drickus keeps rocking this guy and then steps back and doesn't throw follow-up punches. I mean, like, if I were to bet Drickus untracked to win inside the distance and then watched that for 5 rounds, my head would have been in the goddamn oven, man. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, the wrestler didn't wrestle and Drickus didn't find a finish. I mean, it was just that kind of a night, man.
Yeah, I had the finish only, which pushed, but it felt like a loss because it's like, how? It's just crazy, man. I mean, and that Leon Edwards head kick ruined my honeymoon. Like, I'll never forget. Like, I had my honeymoon. I'm like, okay, I'm not watching the fights today. I'm not gonna watch the fights. I'll check the results, and everybody's asleep. So I it's late at night. I check the results, and the Usman's fight's still going on, and it's like, okay. And then next thing you know, it says it's over, and it says Leon Edwards round 5 knockout. What do you mean? And I lost like 4 or 5 units on that outcome. It's like, come on. I mean,
really? Yeah, I know.
Really?
Like that kick happened. That was like one of those things where we talk about when a fight happens 100 times. Sometimes you make the right bet, and that 1 out of 100 time, outcome occurs. Charles Johnson knocks out Josh Van. Charles Johnson knocks out Lonnie Kavanaugh. I mean, Dean Barry spinning back kicks Mike Jackson in the dick and gets disqualified as a minus 1,500 money line favorite. Like, you can't make this shit up sometimes. And then one of those things that happened was that 5th round KO for Leon Scott, making him UFC champion, Brady.
It's a crazy sport, and that's why I'm worried about going into Abu Dhabi, man. I mean, some of these Middle Eastern cards, they get sketchy. Can somebody confirm whether or not the locker rooms have just been painted? I mean, is there air conditioning? Like, there's always something with these Middle Eastern cards, and I don't know, man. We've got some weird results with them. So, let's do some cards. Let's open up some cards. Here we go. Last week, we had a really good hit. It was our second best hit, Weezy. We had a Rafael Fiziev autographed PSA 10, our second best hit. The first best hit was Robert Whittaker autograph. So if you guys want to check it out, go to homeoffightcards.com. It's fun to rip some packs. We're going to rip a couple packs here, and hopefully we can get something big. Here we go. All right,
let's buy it and let's rip it. Let's go.
No Askar Askarov, please.
Yeah, no. No more retire. No Stephen Ocho Petersen either.
No
Macy Chason either. Let's go. We're ready to open it.
There we go. All right, let's get something good. All right,
I want a protest, Brady. I want a protest card.
I'd take it, man.
Yeah.
Here we go. Come on, baby. Something good. Something good, please.
Come on. Max Griffin.
Hey.
Oh, but it's $72. Hey, that's a number 1 Max Griffin Ice PSA 10.
It's not bad. That's actually a really sick card. I'm not a big fan of Max Griffin, but that's a pretty sick card. $72. We'll take it. We'll take the profit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a good pull.
That is a very good pull. Because that was a limited edition 101, I think. So good stuff.
All right. Where are we at?
I think you got to click that back arrow.
I thought so.
Top left, back arrow.
No.
Oh, damn. All right.
Let me try again. All right, here we go.
Okay.
With the old-fashioned way. All right, here we go. So I'll take it. That's a good. It's a good card. All right, here we go. So I count that as a win. Let's get one more.
Me too.
Okay, here we go. I feel like come on.
We want to protest. Give me an autograph.
Something good. Oh,
damn. Kyle Bahayo, but it's a PSA 9, so it's not worth as much. It's a Topps Midnight, but that's a Kyle Bahayo card.
It's a sweet card.
Yeah.
You think it would be worth more, but that's a sick card. Brio Dusk, PSA 9. I would say that the Griffin fight or the Griffin card should be worth less, and I say this one should be worth more. That's a pretty sick card. So
it's probably just the make of the card, probably why, because Bahayo clearly the better fighter, but the Max Griffin card was probably a lot more rare.
Yeah, it was a sick card. All right, let's pull this back up. So there it is. I'd say 2 solid cards. 2 solid cards. Yes, $72.
I think it's a good one.
We'll
take
it. We'll take
Let's go.
I interview a fighter that fights this week on the card. Guess who? He is black at Brady.
Mike Davis. Got to be Mike Davis, right?
Yeah, it's Mike Davis.
Got to be. I don't think there's a lot of black folks on this card in Abu Dhabi.
I think there's one. It's not Bogdan Guskov, is it?
No, very white. He's extremely white, actually.
Okay. Yeah, it's Mike Davis. All right. Oh, Fortune. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, could be Fortune, yeah.
I still think it's Davis. All right, here we go. Let's see who needs to get help from UFC, whatever it was last night. Okay, see. All right. It was Fortune. So I guess we were wrong. It was Fortune.
Oh, okay.
All right. In fourth place, Chris Duncan at 6%.
Okay.
Third place, Christian Duncan at 7%. Second place, Christian Leroy Duncan at 38%. And then, believe it or not, in first place at 49%, CLD.
Christian Leroy, dumbass. Thank you for elbowing your way into the clinch every time you had him hurt. Appreciate you.
Yep, it was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But
damn it.
Oh, and then one last thing, guys, and we'll get into the fights. Piping of the week. Oh God.
Ugh. Yeah,
no.
Piped our inside the distance bets, that's for sure.
Yeah, he piped the finish betters there.
Yeah.
But the milking came through.
Yeah.
Milking of the week, Yanni Barbosa to milk Anna Melisano on site. Yeah. So kind of 1 for 1. Not bad. All right, let's get into the card, guys. We wasted enough time. We're going to go and start with Abdul Hussein going against Cody Gibson. We got Hussein 28 years old, 5'5". Cody Gibson 38 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. We got Hussein, who's 10 years younger. It's going to be Gibson with a 5-inch height advantage. Hussein is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, coming off of a knockout win against Tyson Nam. As far as Cody Gibson, he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He had a decision loss against Miles Johns, submission win against Brian Kelleher, decision win against Chad Hellinger, submission loss against Damon Blackshear, and a knockout loss against Arichi Long. So out of all the people making their debut on this card, obviously Zaynukov, Chonko, probably the one with the most upside, I'd say. But I was very impressed with Hussein. Not only is this guy a good wrestler, not only is this guy a really good grappler as well, but he has a ton of power in his hands. I mean, just ask Tyson Nam. Quite frankly, I'm not sure if Tyson Nam's alive after what he did to Tyson Nam. I mean, I thought Tyson Nam died. Like, Tyson Nam was out. Like, he hit Tyson Nam so hard. I thought he literally died. And then I went and watched the other fights. It's like, yeah, his grappling's really good. A ton of submissions. I think he has 15 wins, 14 wins inside the distance. So this guy looks legit to me. Cody Gibson stepping in, I believe, on short notice. And it's like, yeah, Cody Gibson, he's 38 years old, almost 39. And I don't like seeing that, in the lower weight class divisions like flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, etc. You can get away with it at heavyweight and light heavyweight, sometimes middleweight, but at these lower weight classes, the older you get, the less success you're going to have. And Cody just looks bad. I mean, he got sparked in the very first minute against Arichi Long. And then against Damon Blackshear, he kind of gassed out and got submitted in the second round. So it's like, I don't know really what the path here is for Gibson. He is probably going to try to wrestle here. But I worry about his cardio. I worry about the age. I worry about the durability. I worry about him taking this fight on short notice. So, yeah, I think it's a good spot here for Hussein to go out there and, get it done, whether it's by knockout, because I think Gibson's chin could be in question, or whether it's by submission, because I've always thought Gibson's submission defense has been in question. He has been submitted like 5 or 6 times, and I also think the cardio is in question. So, yeah, for me, it's setting up to be a Hussein, probably a finish here. Were you able to watch Hussein at all?
I caught the fight in Finland against Tyson Nam, but I haven't been able to check out the rest of it yet, man. I'm sharing my screen here. I've got some stuff up, but this is the thing about fights like this, Brady, is that when you're seeing a 10-year age difference, and then you're also seeing one guy on a winning streak here in Abdul Hussein, beats Tyson Nam, beats Gift Walker, beats Sami Yahia, beats Eduardo Mora, beats Hans Raj, so he's on a winning streak here, and he's cashing, as big favorites. This guy's got a lot of hype on him. And then on the other side, you're looking at Cody Gibson, who's lost 3 of his last 5 fights, and the wins are over Chad Hellinger and Brian Kelleher. So, and then the Blackshear fight, like, that's where I have a little bit of hope for Gibson, because Gibson was winning that fight. He just fought like a dumbass. He was winning the distance striking exchanges. Then he started taking down Blackshear, who's a much better submission grappler than he is. So why would somebody in Gibson who's historically had problems defending against submissions, go out there and look to wrestle Damon Blackshear. So I kind of feel like if he fought smart against Blackshear, he might have won 3 out of his last 4 fights. But now he's on a 2-fight losing streak. His wins are basically meaningless. And he's a 39-year-old bantamweight, going up against a guy that's 10 years younger, who's on a winning streak and is coming off a career best performance. So obviously we're going to have, if we look back here at the experience, Cody Gibson's got a lot more experience, a lot more high level experience, big strength of schedule advantage here for Cody Gibson, as this is going to be Hussein's UFC debut. At the distance striking range, Cody's got good numbers, 41% accuracy, 62% defense, a positive 0.59 distance striking differential, and he stays pretty busy at range. In the grappling exchanges as well, he's busy attempting 5.6 takedowns per 15 minutes, getting 2.1 of them, out-controlling his opponents 26% to 21%. So he spends a lot of time in control time positions. But the problem is that Cody's 3-7 in the UFC. And even when he's a favorite, he's not outperforming market expectations. So he's just not a guy it's really hard to find reasons. You don't need to share my screen anymore. To back this guy at this age, at this point. Could he go out there, Brady, and win minutes, like get some takedowns, maybe volume Hussein on the feet, and potentially, not absorb big shots and potentially win some minutes, bank some rounds, win a decision? I mean, it could be, but the differences in age, momentum, career trajectory are massive in a way that we shouldn't expect anything less than Abdul Hussein being a minus 400 favorite in this spot.
Yep, he is minus 400. Gibson plus 300. The over/under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is plus 120. The under 2.5 is minus 140. So yeah, it seems like it's a tough matchup for one Cody Gibson.
Yeah,
I must admit, on-site milkings are my favorite type of milkings. Yeah, you and me both.
You got that right, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw they announced Belgorowi versus Gas. I mean, Belgorowi's going to destroy him. The shortest middleweight versus the tallest. Yeah, it's going to look funny, man. It's going to look crazy. So Cody Gibson told me today that this is his last fight on his contract. Oh, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on a 2-fight finish loss skid. Hussein isn't Finnish. He's got.
Oh no, sure he is. Look at that! Look at that big Finland flag next to his head. I mean, and especially when you hear a name like Abdul Hussein, it just screams Finland.
Oh, I thought he was saying he's not going to finish.
No. He's saying he's not finished. The Finland, but he's Mr. Finland. Now that we got Makwan Amirkhani cut from the UFC, Brady, we need another Mr. Finland that's not actually from Finland. So why not Abdul Hussein?
Hopefully he has better cardio than Amirkhani.
Dude, I got better cardio than Amirkhani.
Yeah, he did beat Eduardo Mora. he did. Let's see. Yeah,
not the Eduardo Mora that's on that's Sean Mora right now that's on sorry about that. Yeah, but he does have a win over Mora, yeah.
Oh gosh. Gibson, he looked really good in round 1 for sure. Chad, we need more likes. Agreed. Who is Chad and Hellinger? He's
Canada. Stand up.
Canada stand up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight, and it is going to be Nurullo Aliev going against Mike Davis. We got Aliev, 25 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Mike Davis, 33 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Aliev 8 years younger. Davis with a 2-inch height advantage. Got the same reach there. Aliev 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He had a knockout win on the Contender Series, a decision win against Rafael Alves, a decision win against Joe Selecki, and a decision win against Shamrock. As far as Mike Davis, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, a decision win against Mason Jones, a decision win against Slava Borshev, submission win against Natan Levy, a decision loss against Farzayam, and then a knockout win against Ramirez. So it's tough for me because I've always been a big fan of Mike Davis. Yeah, this guy's extremely well-rounded, black belt in BJJ, wrestling background, really good boxing. the problem with Davis is he's just always been so inactive. He's always dealt with a ton of injuries. And he's one of these guys that even has said himself that he hates fighting. He's one of these guys that just doesn't like to fight. And you can tell with the inactivity and stuff. And I think it's starting to catch up to him a little bit. He's getting older. Some of these performances are getting worse and worse. Far as Zion fight was a bad look. And after that fight, he did come out with like a bunch of excuses, like the locker rooms were painted. He was injured, but I just can't get that in my head. He pulled guard in the first 5 seconds. Got out-grappled by Farazim, who I personally think stinks. I don't care what other people think. I think Farazim stinks. Did not like that. And even Mitch Ramirez, rocked this guy badly in the second round. So it's a shame because I think Mike Davis had such a high ceiling, but his career is probably getting towards the end. The injuries are starting to add up. He's getting older. It looks like he's making like TikTok videos now, and I'm just not sure he cares about fighting. He's going against Aliev, who's a one-dimensional wrestler, who's probably going to look to take him down. So I don't know. I can't personally trust Mike Davis ever again. He's on the not trust list. I mean, if you pull guard in the first 5 seconds, and then on top of that, he's going in. I'm surprised he's fighting in the Middle East once again after all the shenanigans in the last fight. So I don't know. I mean, I see a path for Davis, but I'm leaning Aliev. I think Aliev, cares more. Aliev's going to be younger. And we just saw Farazim take down Davis a few times. So I'm leaning Aliev. I'm not betting this fight, though, Easy. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, Aliev's a guy that's been super expensive in basically every fight that he's had at the UFC level. I'm sharing my screen here. Yeah, minus 170 Aliev, plus 145 Davis. And you see another big age difference here. You got Aliev being 8 years younger than Mike Davis. So there's momentum, there's age, there's career trajectory all on the side of Aliev. And even though Aliev has been fighting for a lot less time at the UFC level, he's got a commensurate amount of experience, as you can see, because Mike Davis only has racked up 15 fights in 11 years. So, and he's on a 1-year layoff coming into this fight. So now we're getting to see that version of Mike Davis once again. That's going to just show up once every 12 or 18 months. And this is a tough fight to take against a guy like Aliev, who's undefeated, who's well-rounded, but who can really push that wrestling. And when he does that, he makes it so that you really can't land much against him. You wind up in a kind of like this perpetual state of defending. And you look at Davis's distance striking stats. He's got a negative 1.17 distance striking differential, but a 4-0 knockdown ratio, 50% accuracy at range. So he's going to need to keep this fight standing, because even though we did see Nurullo Aliev in his last fight, Brady, win some rounds striking, it was against Shamrock. So, we can't really be like, Nurullo's a striker now, he's going to win a minute striking, because I think that Mike Davis's striking might be just a little bit better than Shamrock's. And then you see that Aliev is out-controlling his opponents 50% to 5%. So he's spending 55% of his octagon time in control time positions. He's out-takedowning his opponents 2 to 0.67. And he's, winning 90% of the control time positions in his fights, while stuffing 80% of the takedowns that come his way. While Davis, not the most efficient grappler. 59% takedown defense, not something you really want to be seeing against somebody like Aliev, who's racking up control time and using that top time to limit his opponent's ability to do damage against him. So I feel like Davis's takedown defense is going to be really important here. And Davis has been pretty hyped up by the market, 5-2 in the UFC. But his ROI is right around even, because the amount of hype that is on his name. People know that this guy's a well-rounded fighter. They know that he doesn't really have any weaknesses in his MMA skill set. But Aliev, fighting in the Middle East, that's the only place he ever really fights. And he's undefeated. He keeps winning minutes. So I got to go with Aliev here. I'm very worried about Mike Davis. The last fight was such a bad look, Brady. When you're getting out grappled by Farazim and you're supposed to be the better wrestler and the better athlete, that was a bad look. And Aliev is a guy who can take advantage of poor wrestling defense if you let him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame. I really liked Mike Davis, But and he's like you said, he's 5-2. I mean, that's incredible. But he's been in the UFC for like what 8 years. I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. So
yeah, and his only losses are to Gilbert Burns and Ferris Ziam, and but then you look at the wins, and you got to win over Mason Jones, and that's an awesome win. But the rest of his wins are hot ass, Brady. Tom Gifford, Slava Borshov,
Gifford
beat up some poor Jewish guy named Natan. Like Mitch Ramirez. These. So other than the Mason Jones fight, which is obviously that's a great win, and that was a great fight. And that was a long time ago. The Mason Jones fight was like what 2021. It
was a while ago. Yeah,
it was a long time ago, man. So I got to go with Nurullo here. He should get the job done.
Yep, and the market is agreeing because money is coming in on Aliev. I could have swore when I broke down this fight yesterday, he was like -1. Like 35, -140. Now he's -170. So this gives me another reason to not bet on this fight. The over's juiced to -195, which makes sense because it's a Nurullo Aliev fight, and I don't see this guy probably ever finishing a fight ever. So yeah, probably Aliev by decision for me, but I won't be betting on it. Is Mike Davis washed? I don't know. He might be approaching the washed territory. I don't know.
He's not washed because of age, but he might be washed because of injuries. That's something that he can't help, and it's something that he's battled consistently throughout his career. So if you can't stay healthy, man, that's a big problem, and he did go into his last fight hurt, according to Mike.
Yeah, I remember he came out with like a bunch of different excuses of the paint fumes, injuries, et cetera, et cetera. Paint fumes, free Mike Davis is a mythical fighter. I will never bet on this guy ever. I remember I had a bet on Mike Davis against Zion, and he pulled guard in the first 5 seconds. It just ripped up the ticket. He got ripped up the ticket instantly. It's just terrible. And yeah, who knows? Has he ever recovered from these paint fumes? I mean, paint fumes are dangerous. You don't want to, sniff those in. Zion does stink. At least somebody agrees with me. I've never been high on far as Zion. Christian Leroy Blumpkin cost me $1,300 off of $60. Jeez, yeah. Christian Leroy Blumpkin. Whoever made that up, that's hilarious. Aliev might close -200. It's trending there. It wouldn't shock me on this card. When the parlay boys haven't even came in yet, Weezy, and these lines are already juiced, absolutely juiced. Where's Dr. Peener? He should be in here. He should be in the building. Oh, apparently Smotherman's fighting right now.
Yeah, I guess he was on Fury FC this week, and
what
the fuck?
Jeez. Holy crap! So I guess he got escorted out by the police.
Wow.
Jeez. Yeah, nothing's wrong with being a parlay boy. I hit 2 parlays last night, so nothing's wrong.
I hit one last night. Yeah.
Hey, it's hard. I thought parlays were cursed a couple of years ago, but have had a lot more success with them. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Magomed Tuchalov going against Brendson Ribeiro. We got Tuchalov, 26 years old, 6'5". Ribeiro, 29 years old, 6'3" with an 81-inch reach. Tuchalov is going to be 3 years younger, 2-inch height advantage. Tuchalov 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Ribeiro is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Kyle Machado. Submission win against DR Nergoze. Knockout loss to Azmat Mirzakhanov. Knockout loss to Umar Sy. And then a submission loss to Abdul Rahman Yakayev. So, yeah, I mean, they're bringing in this guy to get a first-round finish against Ribeiro. I mean, that's kind of what they are doing it with Ribeiro at this point. Even like Omar Sy got a first-round finish against this guy. Like, how's that even possible? Omar Sy finished this guy with ground and pound in the first round. I mean, that's really all you need to know. Tuchalov is already -700. I wasn't like blown away with the guy by any means, but he's good. He's from Dagestan. He's from Russia. He has power on the feet. He can wrestle, and he does have slick grappling. So Ribeiro has some of the worst takedown defense in the entire UFC. I just see Tuchalov taking him down and getting to the back and choking him out all within the span of a couple minutes. I think it's like a 20. I'm sure like a 20% takedown defense for Ribeiro. It's just not going to cut it against a guy from Dagestan. Give me Tuchalov submission in the first round or TKO.
Actually, Ribeiro's takedown defense is better than 20%. It's actually 21%. So yeah, I mean, like he's don't this guy don't sleep on him. He's not even 30 yet. He's making improvements, man. You know, used to be 19%, but it's 21% now. So let's go. You know, maybe Ribeiro can find a submission too early. You know, the thing about Ribeiro is that he's going to try to finish you early, and sometimes he gets that job done. So we're going to find out about Tuchalov, because if you look on the screen there at the top right, you could see that he was minus 235 against Kyle Machado in his last fight, who was a former UFC fighter. But you look at the fights before that, minus 2,500, minus 2,000, minus 2,000. So what I always worry about with a guy like Tuchalov is has he faced any adversity whatsoever? Because a guy like Ribeiro's got a ton of defensive holes, whether it be his striking defense, takedown defense, submission defense, bad cardio, any of those things, Brady. But what he is very aggressive and very dangerous, whether it be on the feet with his strikes or whether it be on the mat with his submissions. Like you got that Kimura against Nurullo. He's going to finish fights when he wins. So, yeah, man, I think that it should be Tuchalov, but with a guy like Ribeiro, you know, you're going to get huge plus money, and there's going to be some finish upside. And also with a guy like Ribeiro, just a really good guy to be betting an under with. And this is a bettable number here for the under at minus 200-ish.
Is it a trap? I mean, why is it only minus 210? What's going on?
I don't know, man. It's a Brendson Ribeiro fight, and Magomed Tuchalov has got an average fight time of 4.5 minutes as a pro. And with Ribeiro, you're getting a guy with 28 professional fights, and it's 5.2 minutes, and this guy has been to decision 3 times in 28 fights.
Yeah, and there was even one of those fights in there, like went like I think like almost 5 rounds. I think so, if I'm remembering correctly, and it was a horrible fight. But yeah, maybe just the under, under round 1, something like that. I mean, Tuchalov's going to take him down, and he's going to do very bad things to him, I think. But yeah, I mean, Ribeiro's going to try to go for a Kimura. It's not going to work unless you're going against DR Nurgos. That's the only person it's going to work against, Weezy, is DR Nurgos. That's it. That's it.
Nurgos coming off a win, Brady, a young man as well. You never know if the momentum, like he was just tricking us for those first 2 fights, looking like absolute trash. And then he comes out there and he finds that win in the last fight. Who did he beat? It was one of those new guys, right? Was it Rafael Tobias or something?
Yeah, Rafael Tobias.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's what was his name? Tobias was bipolar.
Yeah, he's bipolar. Yeah, man. 700 straight into a parlay. Somebody stopped me. I mean, you're better off just taking like the under at a much better price, but he should win. I mean, he should win. It's hard for me to ever take Ribeiro. Tuchalov, great candidate for milking of the week. Milk on the canvas, referee, judges, milk everywhere. Could be, man. Tuchalov actually seems like a good grappler. Yeah, he's got some very sneaky submissions. Brentson's gotten finished by Umar C. and Zhang Mingyang. Oh, God. I wouldn't bet $1 on this guy round 1 at plus 5 million against a real fighter. So much milk. Oh, gosh. Go Brendson. Yeah, I mean, oh, gosh. He's so bad. Bipolar. You guys still streaming since we took a break, dude. We took a break.
We figured out how to stop the show this week.
Oh yeah, we finally figured it out. This Tuchalov guy is a UAE warrior, dude, and honestly, his tape is kind of mid. Yeah, I agree. He's not going to knock your socks off. When you see a minus 700 price tag, Weezy, you think your socks are going to get knocked off, right?
Yeah.
This guy's not really knocking your socks off. The problem is he's going against Brendson Ribeiro. That's why he's minus 700. And it's always kind of hard to lay minus 700 onto that type of fight, but he should get it done. All right, moving on to the next fight. I'm looking forward to this one, dude. It's going to be Ismael Bonfim going against Axel. Sola. We got Bonfim, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Axel Sola, 28 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. We got Sola, 2 years younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. We got Bonfim, who is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Terrence McKinney. Submission loss against Benoit Saint-Denis. Decision win against Vince Pichel. And then a knockout loss against Nazim Sadikov and Chris Padilla. As far as Axel Sola, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Rhys McKee. Won that fight by 3rd-round knockout. And then went to war with Mason Jones and lost that fight by decision. So for me, Weezy, it's pretty simple. And by the way, like the video, 59 likes. We should just sign off.
That's awful.
That's terrible.
That's awful. I think our entire audience is made up of just Christian Leroy dumbass, and he's just sitting there thumb downing it just over and over.
Yeah, that could be it. Bunch of Duncan fans.
Like it's our fault you spinning back elbowed into the clinch 16 different times and pissed away the finish. And in a co-main event, live fight in Oklahoma City, you could have lit up a former top 10 guy, but you fought like a dumbass. Not you, Klaus. I'm talking about Christian Leroy, dumbass.
Yeah,
Thank
Christian
you, Klaus, for letting everybody know that we're getting served on likes. We got served on our bets last night, Brady. We're getting served on likes. Quit serving us.
Quit serving us, guys.
We're sick of getting served over here.
We're doing it on Sunday. We move it up a day. I mean, we got to at least get 100 likes, guys. Come on. I know it's not the best card in the world unless you're, a parlay boy. The parlay boys are loving this card, but we still got to hit the like button. Anyway, for me, Weezy, this fight's pretty simple to break down. Skill for skill. Yeah, Bonfim's a skilled fighter, but there's one big problem. This guy's a quitter. This guy has no heart. This guy can't battle a lick of adversity, and that's going to be a problem in an Axel Sola fight. That's it. I mean, Bonfim might look good early, but if there's a cut, if he gets tired, if he gets hit too hard, I mean, he's going to quit. I think he has like 6 finished losses. He's been subbed a ton. He's been knocked out. He straight up quit in the Padilla fight. I went back and watched that fight. He pulled guard and just covered up in the second round. It was a horrible look. He straight up quit in the Sadikov fight. The cut was, on his cheek. And he's like, I can't see. The fight's over. He quit in the Sadikov fight. This guy didn't make weight in his last fight. I mean, Ismael Bonfim, I'm really worried about, the heart durability and just the toughness. And Sola has all of that. Sola has all the heart, the durability, the toughness. I mean, this guy's next level durable. So, yeah, skill for skill, it's a close fight. But in a fight that I think is going to be a war, I got to go Sola here. So Bonfim might look good early, maybe mixing a takedown early, maybe have success with the boxing because he does have good boxing. But as the fight goes on, I think Sola is going to kind of drown him here and probably finish him late. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. I'm liking Axel Sola here. I'm just not high on Ismael Bonfim. I think, Gabriel's clearly the better brother of the two. So I'm going Sola here, Weezy, and looking to maybe cash more bets fading Bonfim because I've hit a couple these last couple fights.
Yeah, and you can fade that durability. It's just not there, man. When you've won 20 fights and lost 6, but all 6 of your losses are finishes, it really tells you something about how that guy fights, because that there are those certain guys that it's going well until it doesn't. And how do you react to adversity? It's just such a big part of who you are as a fighter. You got the Terrence McKinney types, who the second that things start going the other fighter's way, they just check out. And then you got guys like Mason Jones, let's say, who would, you'd have to put a bullet in that guy's head to make him stop fighting at some point. And those kind of things matter. And Axel Sola just went 3 rounds with Mason Jones. And he was getting clipped and hurt in that spot a couple of times. I had some money on Axel, and I remember thinking to myself, man, that was not a great bet, but I also learned a lot about Axel Sola because he fought Rhys McKee and Mason Jones back to back. And those are 2 very aggressive, very offensive-minded fighters that if you get put in some bad spots, if they start rolling downhill a little bit, you're going to find out about the durability of that guy. And that's what we know about Sola, is that he's going to be able to push through some bad spots while Ismael Bonfim, not only was he having eye problems in the Sadikov fight, I also heard that he said it was just a little cool in the arena. He asked him to turn the AC from 72 back up to 74. They didn't do it. And he said he just couldn't get into the rhythm of the fight because it was a little bit chillier than what he's used to in Brazil, Brady. Now, for that kind of a guy to go into a cage and fight through adversity, I got to go with Axel Sola here.
Yeah, it's simple as that, man. I mean, it's going to be hard for me to pick Bonfim to win any fight going forward, unless he's fighting like his last win is Vince Pichel, who's 50.
Vince Pichel's 44.
He is from hell, though.
Well, but that'll age you quick.
That will age you quick. So, yeah, I mean,
it's like living in the desert, man. Your skin dries out. It's always hot, Yeah,
that's a good point. So, yeah, man, I'm out on Bonfim. The skill's there. He's clearly a skilled fighter. But when you don't have that durability, when you don't have that cardio, when you don't have that heart, when you don't have that willingness to fight through adversity, and then you're going against Axel Sola, I think it's going to be a problem. So we have money actually coming in on Bonfim. Sola is minus 180 now. Bonfim is plus 155. I'm probably going to attack this from some sort of violence angle. The under 2.5 is minus 145. I don't hate it. Maybe like an Axel Sola 2-3, something along the lines of that. But yeah, leaning Axel Sola. There we go, 78. Okay, so we need about 22 more. This isn't Texas Roadhouse. Stop serving. I agree, Dr. Peter.
Yeah.
There you pipe it up. Pipe up the like button. Milk the chat section. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Let's go.
Yeah, I remember Kurt saying this. So he can only bet on 7 fights because his state doesn't allow betting on Russian fighters. I remember that's crazy.
You know what's hilarious, dude? There's 2 Russian fighters on this card that are taking on the UAE flag because they train in the UAE, right? So like Mohammed Saeed, his name is actually Magomed Saimov or Saidov, Magomed Saidov. So if you're in Russia, you're Magomed Saidov. If you're in the Middle East, you're Mohammed Saeed. There's 2 guys like that on that card. I wonder if those guys are fighting under the UAE flag so that they can make steakhouse bets on themselves in Massachusetts.
You never know,
because that's the best place to gamble is Massachusetts.
Yeah, you got that right. Axel should handle the worst Bonfim. Yeah, I think so. Brandon Weezy have Solo's face scars even healed up yet? It's only been 4 months. That's a good point. So this guy just got into an absolute war like 4 months ago, and he did have a big gash on his face. That is something to consider for sure. Sola can break his leg walking up the cage, and I'd pick him over the other Bonfim. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sola is a dog, and Ismael's the opposite of dogging him. Ismael will crumble under the pressure every time. That's kind of what I see as well. I also want to see Ismael on the scale as well. It looks like he's been struggling lately. His chin's bone fried. Yeah, it's bone fried. Sola looked like a zombie the last fight with Mason. Bonfim was hurt going into last fight. Yeah,
I heard hurt feelings.
Yeah, there's always an excuse, man.
Yeah.
Always an excuse. Who called him Bonfim? I don't know. I never called him that. Does JJ Aldrich have an OnlyFans? I hope not.
I don't think so.
I really hope not. So. Sola breaks him and wins round 3 or decision. All right. Yeah, I can see it. Unrelated news. I smell bacon. My smoking hot wife making something good for dinner. It's going to be lit. You got to love it, Freedom Guy. Enjoy it. Enjoy that dinner, man. Enjoy that.
They don't eat bacon in the UAE.
Really?
Yeah. So like that's something that maybe that's why things just go weird every time. It's because nobody's eating bacon on fight week, and I think it screws things up.
Yeah, it could be it. You never know. Something's in the air over there in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. All right. So moving on to the next fight. Oh gosh. We got Sam Patterson going against Santiago Ponzinibbio. We got Patterson, 30 years old, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. We got Ponzinibbio, 39 years old, 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. Patterson, 9 years younger. He's got a 3-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Ponzinibbio is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Alex Morono. Knockout loss against Kevin Holland. Decision loss against Muslim Salikov. Knockout win against Carlston Harris. And a knockout loss against Daniel Rodriguez. As far as Patterson, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. First round submission win against Johan Lyoness. First round submission win against Kiefer Crosby. First round knockout against Danny Barlow. First round knockout against Trey Waters. And his last fight wasn't even a fight. It was a glorified sparring session. And this is poor Santiago Ponzinibbio, man. He's 40 years old. And to be fair, like if this fight was like 3 or 4 years ago and you were getting plus 300 on Santiago Ponzinibbio, that would be maybe even a max bet. This guy used to be next level durable, very good striking, but the durability is just gone. You know, even against Alex Morono 4 years ago, he got dropped very badly in the first round, almost finished. He got knocked out brutally by Kevin Holland. He got dropped very badly in the first round by Carlston Harris, and then he got knocked out brutally in the third round against Daniel Rodriguez. So he's been hurt in 4 of his last 5 fights. The durability is no more. He's getting older, and he just looks bad in there. He just looks so bad in these fights. Patterson has an opportunity to bounce back after making a fool of himself, going out there, pulling a William Knight, landing 12 strikes at distance over the course of the fight. It was horrible. And now he's got to go out there and kind of bounce back. And I think he does. I mean, he went out there and knocked out Trey Waters, who Trey Waters is extremely durable. Ran right through him, knocked out Danny Barlow. So Sam Patterson has the power to knock out Ponzinibbio, and he has the submission game to cause him problems too. And what I like about this fight is Ponzinibbio is not a bitch. He's not a bitch, Weezy. He's going to come forward. He's going to fight Patterson. He's going to try to knock out Patterson.
Yeah. And
I think that's going to be probably to his detriment. I think somebody's getting served here. I haven't checked the under 1.5, but I'm sure it's juiced kind of minus 160. It's not. It opened up plus 160. Jeez. Yeah, minus 160. I don't hate that. Minus 160 for the under. It's chalky, but at the same time, it's like these guys are going to get after it. And I don't think Ponzinibbio has the durability to get after it, especially against Patterson, as long as Patterson fights this time, Weezy. So definitely leading Patterson here. And I think it might be extremely brutal here.
Yeah, because when you look at the guys that are treating Santiago Ponzinibbio as if he doesn't have a chin, it's a very old gentleman in Daniel Rodriguez, and Mexican jail will age you quick. You look at a guy like Carlston Harris getting off on Ponzinibbio early. I mean, like, Carlston Harris is old, dude. You give that guy like 4 years and he's going to look exactly like Grady from Sanford and Son. Muslim Salikov is probably 150 years old. Like I say, I've got proof that he was at my Aya's wedding in Naxos back in 1938. Kevin Holland, old in fight years. And then, dude, almost knocked out by Alex Morono, who's retired now. And now you're getting a guy in Sam Patterson who's only 30. And he's brutally knocking out a guy like Trey Waters, who, I mean, like, is a really difficult striker to deal with at range. And he's making it look easy. Sam's got big time early finish upside in his fights. And Ponzinibbio gets hurt all the time. And Patterson is just one of these guys that doesn't look like he should be as powerful as he is.
Right.
He's like got this narrow ass, these skinny ass legs. He's got that chin way up in the air. He looks real skinny. Like, he doesn't look that strong. But when he hits people, they die. And it's fun to watch, like how badly he's hurting people. Doesn't look like he should, man. Like, this is, if Santiago Ponzinibbio won this fight, I would be absolutely shocked. I think Patterson's going to go out there and run through this guy in round 1. I don't think you want to overthink this one at all.
Yeah. You got to think that maybe Patterson has show some extra urgency here after he went out there and basically shit on the fans, shit on the crowd. I mean, they might as well have just pulled their pants down, went to the middle of the cage and just took a big, giant shit in front of everyone. I think that'd have been more entertaining than whatever they did for 15 minutes. It wasn't a fight. They didn't fight. I mean, it was horrible. So hopefully Patterson makes up for it. Brutally starching poor Santiago Ponzinibbio in the first couple minutes of the fight.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like they might as well have just taken rips in the cage while flipping off the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I would have cut them both. I would have cut them both. You know, that's a cuttable offense. Santiago is cooked. Yeah, Ponzi's still doing the thing. Yeah, he thought he was cut. He's still going, man. 40 years old. 40 years old. Sam Patterson is chinny AF, by the way. One punch from Santiago can cook everyone slipping. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, Santiago does still have some power. You know, he did knock out Morono, knocked out Harris. A lot of his wins do come by knockout. So there's a puncher's chance, but that's why I would, you know, take that under.
Sam Patterson, Waters and Barlow have power too, dude.
Yeah, both those guys have a ton, especially Barlow.
Especially Barlow, yes.
Sam Patterson looks like a god or like a complete bum, no in between. Does Sam Patterson like steak? I don't know. I don't think he likes steak.
I don't think so, man.
No. Yeah, William Knight. Yeah, we got to get William Knight back in there, man. Pulling a William Knight is hilarious. I wonder how many people understand that. Maybe like half the viewers understand that. Maybe half.
I think our longtime viewers all understand it.
Yeah. Ponzinibbio, pro career age is 18 years on the dot.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been in some wars, man. He's been in some wars. We got Artem in the building. What is up, Artem? Listening while walking to uni. Good luck. Good luck to you with your walk, my guy. Fight doesn't start round 3. And yeah, it's weird, Wheezy. It's like, why are we getting a playable under here? Like, I'm scared. Like, why is the under 1.5 in this fight minus 160? You'd think it'd be juiced. Why is the under 1.5 in the Ribeiro fight only minus 200? There's another under where I'm like, huh? Usually they're making us pay up for these unders. So I don't know. Kind of spooked. Marty Juiceman, I will always wonder if he took roids. How did he not get KO'd?
Well, he's the CEO of EPO. You know?
That's true. He is the CEO of EPO. Marty, fake newsman.
Called him Marty Snoozman. I remember that one time, like he was doing some kind of like a thing in the ring for like for the cameras, like for like an embedded thing, and Cody shows up and just starts booing him right outside the cage. This big smile on his face, just going boo.
Oh gosh! Shout out Cody. He beat Arman Sarukian in a wrestling match. Last night.
Yeah, dude, and they're talking. RAF is talking about having him wrestle Bilal Muhammad right now, and I'm just like, that's the next generational wealth opportunity, because Bilal Muhammad just got 0 takedowns against the Bonfim brother. He's gonna go out there and out wrestle somebody who was an All-American at Oregon State. Forget about it. Colby Covington minus 10,000. Bilal's shot.
Didn't Ponzi retire last? It wouldn't shock me. You know how it goes with these guys. You know, I mean, Matt Schnell retired 5 times, and I think he retired a 6th after his last fight. He'll probably be back. I mean, they retire and they come back. You know how it is. Even like Dustin Poirier's talking about coming back. Like, you know, they never really retire more often than not. Ponz's beat. Yep. Petersen to pipe. Get Mike Jackson back in the UFC. Maybe to take photos. He's a photographer. Maybe he can take some cage side photos, but
yeah. He otherwise, you know, you got to give him Jake Shields first. If he could beat Jake, then maybe we'll let him back in. But I got a feeling Jake would really just do bad things to him.
Oh gosh, Kobe brought him to the 7th layer of hair. He did. Islam Dulatov is a chump. Would you say that to his face though? What? If you I don't say that to that dude's face, man. Did anyone retire Saturday? I don't think
so.
Lots of chumps on this card. Really, Islam Dulatov's like the opposite of a chump, in my opinion. Petersen piping candidate. Yeah, we have a couple piping candidates for sure. Let's go. What's up, boys? You guys are awesome. Appreciate that, Brittany. Good to see you in here. Let's get Dean Barry back in there. Let's not do that. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And it is going to be, this is going to be good with Dustin Jacoby going against Mohamed Syed. We got Jacoby, 38 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. We got Syed, 30 years old, 6'2". Jacoby, 8 years older, with 1-inch height advantage. Syed's 5-0 in his last 5 fights, most of those by knockout. Jacoby 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Alonzo Menefield, knockout loss to Dominic Reyes. This knockout win against Petrino, Lopez, and Julius Walker. So this one's an interesting one, Weezy, because you look at the line and it's like, why is Dustin Jacoby only minus 190 against Mohamed Syed? Like, who's Mohamed Syed? And I went and watched this guy. And so first and foremost, this guy has 9 wins. Like 7 of them don't count. I mean, this guy's fought some awful competition, and he's handling them accordingly. But 7 of these wins, don't count. With that said, though, this guy's massive. It says he's 6'2". He looks bigger than 6'2", and he's kind of scary. Like he's low volume. His ground game's untested. His cardio is a little bit untested. But when he throws, he has a ton of power in his hands, and he has a ton of power in his kicks. I saw him land a head kick that I thought killed somebody. So this guy said has a lot of power. So he's a dangerous guy, and this is going to be a striking fight. 2 strikers getting after it here. I don't really see either guy shooting a takedown. I think these guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls. And Jacoby, his durability has started to wane a little bit, but at the same time, it's like Jacoby's fought the much better competition. Dustin Jacoby's been doing it for, much longer, not only MMA, but kickboxing. So I kind of thought Jacoby would be a bigger favorite, but Syed definitely, could potentially land something big. So I think maybe a total here could be interesting. Both these guys extremely dangerous. And Dustin Jacoby, in these last several fights, he's been knocking fools out. So I think somebody's probably getting knocked out here, Wheezy. It's a really fun fight. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I watched the tape on Syed. I caught his last 2 fights against Valmir da Silva and then Enrique da Silva. And Valmir da Silva was like this short guy who was just putting a ton of pressure on him. And I love the way that Syed looked off of his back foot. He doesn't seem to be too bothered by pressure. As a matter of fact, when he got the knockout win against Frank Waston, Enrique da Silva at some point just started running at him. And Syed just planted his back foot, threw an overhand right, and it was over. He deaded him and knocked him out clean. And Valmir da Silva was just staying in his face, walking him down. And Syed looked good off the back foot, just landing stuff, circling. He's one of these guys that just looks really comfortable in the cage. Like he's not even taking deep breaths. He's just kind of calm in there and very ready to counter if you get a little bit too crazy, try a little bit too aggressive. And Jacoby, obviously the much more tested fighter, way more experience, much tougher brand of competition. And I've seen Syed use a little bit of judo, get some takedowns, use a little bit of a ground game, but he mostly prefers to strike. And I think that there's going to be a big size difference here on the Jacoby side. He's fought in that part of the world and performed well there. I think the Khalil Roundtree robbery was in Abu Dhabi, if I'm not mistaken. So Jacoby's been there before. He knows what it's like to fight over there. But the last 2 wins, Julius Walker and Bruno Lopez aren't really that awe-inspiring. But a Vitor Petrino win was great. So I think he's still fighting at a pretty high level. So I've got to lean to the Jacoby side here based on experience, based on strength of schedule, and based on the fact that I don't think Syed offers enough in the grappling game to get Jacoby out of his striking rhythm where he should be better.
Yeah, on top of that, Jacoby has like an elite get-up game. I really like the get-up game of Jacoby. Guys always try to take him down. So yeah, I mean, I lean Jacoby too, but I'd be lying if I said this guy Syed isn't kind of scary. This guy clearly has a ton of power. So we got Jacoby, though, is minus 190. We got Syed plus 165. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 is minus 185. The under 1.5 is plus 161. I think I'd lean towards the under at plus money for these two. Both these guys have a lot of power. Both these guys very dangerous. And, Dustin Jacoby, these, especially later in his career, like a lot of these fights are finishing for Jacoby. So kind of like the under, but Syed's also a little bit low volume at times. So, you never know. Syed piping low-key live. If he lands one of those head kicks, I don't care who you are. It's not 99, the rest.
You see who his picture is now.
Is that?
It's Dante Johnson. We've been calling this guy Dante Johnson's burner forever.
I mean, yeah, it is Dante Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Dustin Jacoby asked to be on the White House card, and the UFC was like, nah, we're sending you across the world to Abu Dhabi. There you go. Can't believe Jacoby to KO Julius Walker was plus 185. And yeah, did they pay us out three times on that bet, Weezy? Because as far as I'm concerned, he knocked out Julius Walker 3 different times.
Who was that ref? They were killing me. I thought like Jacoby was actually about 5 seconds away from being Homer Simpson there, because he emptied the tank trying to finish that fight.
Oh, you know exactly who it was. It was Dan Mergliotta.
Oh, Merg. I thought maybe it was Petersen or Herzog, because it took him forever to stop that fight.
Yeah, I think Danny Merg might be the worst ref out there. He first of all, he can't hear, and hearing is important. It's very important.
Yeah, it's a big part of things.
We've entered another decision era stop betting finishes. Looks like
last night.
Brandon only watched one card.
Yeah, it was the last.
Where have you been the last 2 months, dude? Come on, man. But yeah, maybe that's why we're getting some playable totals, because people are thinking finishes aren't a thing anymore. You know, you never know. Dustin Jacoby's also a chomp. Chill, man. You gotta chill. Sickest part of betting this fight is I don't know how chinny Syed is. Under could be effed if he's durable. Yeah, that's a good point. It's always tough betting unders on guys that have never been knocked out. His name is Big Tan Dan Mergliotta. He tans weekly. Fun fact. Okay. That is a fun fact. There are new, much larger bonuses for getting finishes. I think fighters are generally trying, but the overall organizational skill level is just at an all-time high. My biggest bet of the year was Jacoby KO versus Walker, and I was having an aneurysm with that ref. Had a McMillan KO and thought I was getting cooked there too. Yeah, me and Weezy were both on the freaking Jacoby KO. Big. And it's like, stop the fight, man. Stop the fight. Timurov's line is such a trap. Dude's coming off of a roid suspension against a guy with an astronomical strength of schedule advantage, and he's a pick him. We'll talk about it. And then blind betting against Juicebox is highly profitable. Yeah, he cashed me an under in his last fight, the most sweat-free under in UFC history. I think that fight lasted, 6 seconds, 7 seconds?
I think it was 8. I think it was 8, because I remember on the watch along me going into my database and being like, I think this is one of the quickest knockouts in the history of the organization. And it was like 3 seconds or 4 seconds away from Askren or Masvidal over Askren.
That was awesome. Take that, Eric Nixick. Your overs didn't cash this time, buddy. Didn't cash. He'll get the cash one though whenever Dante Johnson takes on. Who's Dante Johnson fighting? Was it? It's some bum. I think it might be Dante Johnson versus like Dusko Todorovic, maybe. Let's see. Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson will be taken on. Wait, no. I'm thinking of Mansour Abdul Malik.
Oh, did they give him Todorovic?
I think they might have gave him. No, they gave him Dustin Stoltzfus.
Oh, Stoltzfus. Okay.
That fight's going over. That fight's going over for sure. All right. 1 second. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Abubakar Vagaev going against Saygid Izagakhmaev. We got Vagaev, 33 years old, 6 foot. We got Izagakhmaev, 31 years old, 6 foot, 74-inch reach. Vagaev, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, making his debut. And then Izagakhmaev fought Nicholas Dalby, lost that fight. When I saw this fight, I completely forgot that Izagakhmaev fought in the UFC against Nick Dalby, because it was a very forgettable fight. You know, basically nothing happened for 15 minutes. I mean, they threw this fight on the main card, and it's actually opening up the main card, and I'm just confused because this fight's probably the worst fight of the year. I mean, this is going to be so bad. Vagaev has, I think, 24 wins, 19 of them come by decision, and it just makes no sense because the UFC is going out there and cutting, boring fighters for no reason. And this guy, I would qualify as a boring fighter. I fell asleep watching this guy's fights. This guy has multiple 5-round fights. He's taking these guys down, and he's doing not much with it. He's just kind of humping their legs for 25 minutes. On the feet, he's very low volume. You'll get some clinching here and there. he's good. He's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not fun to watch. So for them to throw it on the main card and for them to open at the main card, kind of confusing. And then with Izagakhmaev, it's like the same thing. This guy's looking to hump your leg. This guy does absolutely nothing on the feet. I mean, this fight's horrible, Weezy. They don't have a line out for this fight, and I think the reason that's because, they probably fell asleep, trying to, figure out where to line this one. This is about as bad as it gets, Weezy.
Yeah, there's no line on this fight because I think everybody is out there going, I am max betting the over. These guys are harmless. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a crotch sniffing contest. And yeah, if they weren't doing parts or doing fights in this part of the world, you would never see a guy like Vagaev probably get signed. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's 24-4 fighting in ACB. Tons of experienced, top-notch level competition, and the guy's surgical out there. He can get takedowns, he can strike, but mostly he's going to work his wrestling and look to stay safe and not take too much damage, win minutes, bank rounds, and get his hand raised by decision. That's what he does, and this is not the type of fighter that the UFC is really looking to sign, but because they're doing 3 to 4 cards a year in this part of the world, they're signing guys that they would never pay to fly out of the Middle East or Russia to cards in the US or to cards in Brazil or to cards in Asia. You're really just looking to, in the part of the world where you're getting people who don't really give a shit about anybody but the Muslim fighters, you got to stack those fighters on those cards. Like when you go to Brazil, you put Brazilian fighters on the card. When you go to Canada, you put Canadian fighters on the card. When you go to China, you put Chinese fighters on the card, and we're going to the Middle East 3 to 4 times a year. So they're going to sign some guys like this that ordinarily probably wouldn't get signed if we were just looking to do fights in major markets where, people don't really care so much about the nationality of fighter. They're looking more for action. So that's what, when we go to this part of the world, I think that's why it's so tricky. It's because it's not really like the UFC sometimes. It's more like a lot more technical fighters that aren't really worried about personality or excitement or, fun fights. It's just being technical, and this one's going to probably be like a -300, -350 to go over 2.5 rounds. So if you're capping this fight, it should probably come down to which one of these guys is better at winning minutes and banking rounds in their career. And all you got to do is look at the records of each fighters, and that'll tell you. And you see that one guy in Vagaev is 19-1 to the decision. 19-1. This guy's got 28 fights. He's been to the decision 20 times. UFC never signs guys like that. Terrible. But he's very popular in this part of the world. He's an ACB champion, and he's a good fucking fighter. So he's going to probably win minutes here. And Izagakhmaev just lost minutes to Nick Dalby. So, it's probably going to be Vagaev by decision, and you're probably going to have to pay up for that.
Yeah, this is how you cap the fight. Which one of these guys is more boring? And it's Vagaev. I mean, this guy's so boring, dude. Like, I actually fell asleep during the fight. I'm not even kidding. I watched back-to-back 25-minute fights.
Yeah, they're all 25 minutes, dude.
I know. After the second or third fight, I'm like, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. So, yeah, Vagaev going to be the favorite. The over is going to be juiced. I can't believe it's on the main card. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Fight to end by heel hook might be the worst number in his. Oh, for the Valter fight? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second here. Izagakhmaev? What? UFC 30 completely sucks.
That's Makhachev versus Gary and Dern versus Jillian, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, the pay-per-views are free, so it's like we can't be too hard on him. Islam, Gary, okay. Dern, Robertson, all right. Blanchfield, Jazz the Vicious, okay. Turner, Caio Fernandez, okay. Mansour Abdul Malik, Dustin Stoltzfus. That's your main card.
Oh, God.
Really?
Wow.
They're putting Mansour on a main card. What?
Is that not going to be on the East Coast? Because I know he's like a Maryland guy, so maybe that's...
Well, it's Philly. So
Okay, so that's probably why, because he's somewhat local to the area.
that is brutal. That is brutal. Well, at least the Eric Nixon and the boys get to cash in over in the Mansur Stoltz's fight, and maybe I'll be joining him. We'll see.
Couple of Vegas guys could be a gentleman's agreement in that fight.
Hit the like button. Yeah, we're at 111 likes.
Let's go.
Let's keep it up, guys. Let's keep it up. All right, moving on. I think we missed a fight. Yeah, we missed a fight. Mm-hmm.
Walker Petersen?
Yeah, we missed a fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Valter Walker versus Thomas Petersen. We got Valter Walker, 28 years old, 6'6" with an 81-inch reach. We got Petersen, 31 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. We got Walker, 3 years younger, 5-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. Walker is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A decision loss to Lucas Bresky that he's never going to live down. But back to back heel hook wins. Absolutely insane. As far as Petersen, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Muhammad Usman, knockout loss to Shamil Gaziev. Decision win against Dontel Mays, knockout loss to Vitor Petrino, and the decision win against Guilherme Pad. So this is a tough fight to break down in a sense that, I mean, you could break it down, but at the end of the day, I mean, Walker's probably going to get a heel hook. It's hard not to take Walker by heel hook. He's going to go for it at some point, and you can't get away with it in any other division. You'll never, ever see a back-to-back heel hooks, let alone 4, in the flyweight division, bantamweight division, featherweight division, etc. But you can get away with it at the heavyweight division because everyone stinks, Wheezy. Everyone stinks in the heavyweight division. There's maybe 3 or 4 good heavyweights in the division. So, yeah, I mean, Valter Walker by sub, I think that's kind of what I'm leaning. But if he doesn't get that sub, I think this fight gets very interesting. And I was very high on Petersen before he came into the UFC, but I've kind of been, unimpressed thus far. So this is a borderline 1-800 gambler fight because Walker is minus 185. The submission prop is probably going to be plus 100 best case scenario, which is horrible, which is absolutely horrible. And let me ask you this, Weezy, what is more likely? 4 heel hook wins in a row or Terrence McKinney going under 16 times in a row? What's more likely?
I would say that even though Terrence McKinney going under is well over 1 in a million chance, I would say that Valter Walker getting 4 heel hooks in a row is probably even more rare. Because a lightweight fight goes under 1.5 rounds 33% of the time. Somebody wins a fight by heel hook less than 1% of the time in the UFC. I mean, if I could search my database and just sort it by winning method, I could count how many heel hooks there are that have finished fights since the year 2013. And we'd take that number and divide it by something that's over 6,000, So, I mean, how many heel hooks have there been? So, yeah, it is probably a little bit more rare, but I feel like I'm missing something here, though, because I feel like Walker should be a much bigger favorite. Where is Petersen better than Walker?
I don't know. Maybe cardio, but even Petersen's cardio kind of stinks. I don't know, dude.
Because I think that Valter Walker might even be the better wrestler.
His wrestling's good.
Tom Petersen is a good collegiate wrestler, wearing shoes on a mat, no fence. But Thomas Petersen's only 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. I don't think he's going to go out there and out wrestle Valter Walker, who's 6'6", 81-inch reach and looks like Frankenstein. How is he going to out physical somebody like Valter Walker? I think Valter Walker might win the wrestling exchanges. His striking stinks, but it's not like Tom Petersen's got phenomenal striking. And Tom Petersen's going to be at a 7-inch reach disadvantage on the feet. He's going to be at a 5-inch height disadvantage on the feet. So I kind of feel like everybody's thinking that Valter Walker's only path to victory is a heel hook, when in fact, I think that he can keep the striking exchanges close. I think he can win in the clinch because he's the much bigger, stronger, more physical fighter. And I think he might even be the better MMA wrestler just because the guy's built like a fucking mountain. He's going to be so much bigger than Tom that I don't even think that Tom is going to even want to wrestle offensively for fear of getting into grappling situations where he could get his leg put in danger. And he's going to be at this giant physicality disadvantage. So, yeah, man, I think Valter Walker money line. I was surprised to not see him minus 300 here.
Yeah, well, when I broke down this fight, he was minus 270. And then now he's minus 185. So that's almost a whole dollar move. So there is some money coming in.
I'm missing something. My analysis is definitely missing something, I think.
What they're saying is the Rzepecki fight, right? Like the one time he didn't get the heel hook, he looked awful in the Rzepecki fight, So that's what they're saying. But yeah,
Okay.
and to be fair, if he doesn't get the first round heel hook, this fight's going to turn into a slop fest more than likely. So
yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, we'll see where the line goes. I didn't have any interest in Walker at minus 270, but the line is coming down, down to minus 185. The over under set at 1.5 rounds. The over 1.5 is juiced to minus 200. So they're saying that this fight's going over 7.5 minutes, minus 200 there. The under is plus 174. So I don't know. I can't wait to see what the sub prop is so I can laugh. I'm going to laugh at it. And I bet it last time. It was a horrible price. And I still bet it last time against Louis Sutherland, and it hit. I'm not betting it here, though. I'm not betting it here because Thomas Peterson's a lot better than Louis Sutherland, Dontel Mays, Junior Taffa. I don't know about Kennedy, but yeah, if he does get a fifth heel hook in a row, it'd be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I just think he's going to get on top of this dude and pound his head through the canvas. I think that's what's going to happen here. Wrestlers are awful off of their back. And I think if Tom Petersen gets put on his back underneath this giant of a man, it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm. But he might do should I submit him, coach? And then go for a heel hook. the Roman delivery. Should I submit him, coach? Yes, you should, Roman. I bet you by sub. So do it. Come on. Go bet Jacoby before you lose money. Yeah, I got to lean Jacoby there. Terrence, because he bets on the under himself. Yeah.
Might be right about that.
No clue how Walker is only minus 200. This card is a chalky card.
Yeah.
It's a chalky card. Just woke up. CLD surely finished 42-year-old cannoneer 42-year-old grandpa, right? Yeah. No.
We got bad news for you, Garrett. We got bad news for you.
Yeah. This is a good point, Wheezy. Trains do not have feet, as far as I'm concerned. They don't have feet.
It's true. It's true. I mean, look, Valter Walker couldn't submit that dude with no legs in the grappling competition.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, you're right. I can't believe they made that. I still can't believe they made that fight. Petersen WikiFeet score is better. I don't know, man. Bresky's underrated. 1-6
in the UFC. But he could be 2-5 because a lot of people thought he won the Martin Budai fight. So
yeah. Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster. Walker's striking is improving. Yeah, if these guys strike, it's gonna be ugly. I would sleep Valter in a round, though. I don't know about that, Dante. I agree. I'm hammering Walker money. And Weezy, it's a good point. It's like Walker can win this fight by any method. Weezy, he can win it by decision. He can win it by knockout. Petersen's knocked out a ton, and he can win it by heel hook. Like he has 3 different, win opportunities here.
Yeah, and before all the other UFC fights, this guy was just winning minutes and banking rounds with top time and ground and pound. I could see him doing that against a much smaller fighter in Petersen.
Yeah. Patterson wins. I would tend to agree. Walker isn't a dog. He's a favorite. Dulatov by first round KO. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Kennedy sleeps Petersen. Yeah, you never know with Kennedy. It's like one day he looks like one of the best fighters in the division.
Yeah.
And then the next day he looks like one of the worst fighters in the division. You never know with Kennedy, but we got Dan from Half the Battle. Yes. Smash the like button for Brother Brady and Uncle Weezy. What is up, Dan? Good to see you in here. Tournament is terrible.
Yeah.
Brandon Weezy never forgot what Louis Kiefer Sutherland did to Shui Vasa. Yeah, thankfully I didn't bet on that fight. I would have probably smashed my TV. We got Jacksonville Zoe. What is up, Brady and Weezy? What's good, Jacksonville Zoe? Good to see you in here. Ank beats Olberg. I don't know about that. Well, right now, yes, because Olberg broke his leg. I think so. Right now, yes. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And where are we? Oh God, why is this main? What are they doing to the main card? Weezy? They put Vagaev is kicking off the main card. Everybody's gonna fall asleep, and everybody's gonna stay asleep because Rizvan, Kuniev, Tyrell Fortune's probably gonna be just as awful. We got Kuniev, 33 years old, 6'4", with a 76-inch reach. Fortune, 36 years old, 6'2", with a 77-inch reach. We got Kuniev, 3 years younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach disadvantage. Kuniev is 2-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Hugo Kuna on the Contender Series, split decision loss against Curtis Blades, and then a decision win against Jonathan Almeida. As far as Fortune, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Martin Tybura. Remember, he lost the decision, and then they actually brought him back and said, never mind, you won the decision. You know, that happened earlier, and that was crazy. But, for me, I mean, it's pretty clearly Kuniev for me. I'm actually surprised the line's this short. It's like Fortune, I'm not high on at all. He has 5 minutes of cardio. He has solid wrestling, but for about 5 minutes, he kind of gave up on the wrestling for the most part against Martin Tybura. And when the fight got extended, I mean, this guy did absolutely nothing over the last 10 minutes of the fight. It was horrible to watch. It was a terrible fight, and a fight that was very close at that. Kuniev is good. I mean, Kuniev beat Curtis Blades. They just got the decision wrong. I mean, he beat Curtis Blades. He beat Jonathan Almeida. I think he's going to be the higher volume striker. I don't think Fortune's taking down Kuniev. Like, if Charlton's not taking you down, if Blades isn't taking you down, I don't think Fortune is. So Fortune's going to have to land a big shot, and good luck, because Kuniev has a chin on him. So for me, I think it's going to be Kuniev. I think it's going to be a pretty awful fight. I think they're both going to get tired. It's going to get sloppy. It's going to get greasy. But I trust Kuniev just to do more. Fortune literally did nothing the last 10 minutes of the Tybura fight. So for me, it's Kuniev. And I really don't want to bet on this fight. But if the line gets any closer, I might have to. I just don't know what Fortune's path is outside of like a greasy split. Like a greasy split. So I'm leaning Kuniev here. And another thing is, these Middle Eastern judges suck as well.
Yeah.
So in a fight that's going to be greasy, maybe the best thing is to stay away. But yeah, Fortune is not it for me. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty impressed with Big Riz. You know, he's got a good strength of schedule. You know, he's one of these he's your typical Russian. He's extremely handsome. He only fights once a year. He's personality challenged. You know, it's just he's technical. He knows where to take the fight and why. You know, if he's the better grappler, he knows to wrestle. If he's the more physical guy, he knows to clinch up. If he's the faster guy on the feet, he'll strike. And he's got a really well-rounded skill set where there aren't really a lot of weaknesses. And a 12-3 record as a pro is pretty damn impressive. So, yeah, I think Big Riz gets the job done here, probably by decision. But I think this guy's finish upside is somewhat underrated as well. But he's definitely been juiced to the tits before, Brady. He tested positive for 4 different anabolic steroids in the Renan Ferreira fight. 4. You know, like I've never done steroids, Brady. You know, I was never at that level of athleticism, but I feel like even like the regular steroid user is telling the guy that's doing 4 consecutive anabolic steroids, hey, maybe you should cool down a little bit, you know? So I don't know. I mean, maybe this guy, you know, is just, you know, a lot more physical than we think he is. And he's looked good. I mean, like you're talking wins over guys like Blades and Almeida. I thought he won the Blades fight, and boy, did that one cost me a bag. Yeah, but you know, he's looked really good. And Tyrell Fortune was a guy that beat Tybura, and that's a good win. You know, we don't want to take anything away from him with that win. It may not have been exciting, but Marcin Tybura is a veteran who's got a ton of UFC wins. If you go out there and you beat that guy, that's a good win for a UFC debut. So maybe Fortune can keep this close, but where do they have the line right now?
250.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that sounds about right to me because long trip for Tyrell Fortune, fighting Big Riz in the Middle East. Everything's kind of stacking up here on the Kuniev side.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Kuniev, especially at this point of Tybura's career, Kuniev's a lot better. I think Tybura's like 40, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting old, dude. And Tybura's been chinny as well, too. He's gotten knocked out by guys that you wouldn't expect people to get knocked out by. You know, Augusto Sakai, Shamil Abdurrahimov knocked him out.
Yeah. And then that haircut. I'll never forget that haircut that Tybura had as well. So, yeah, maybe Kuniev is a potential parlay piece, minus 255 on the money line. Fortune plus 215. The over under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is minus 135. Under 2.5 is plus 115, which is interesting for a heavyweight fight. But yeah, I do lean towards it going to decision. Max bet Kuniev. I don't know about that, but yeah, I think he should win. Kuniev is garbage. Yeah, every heavyweight is garbage, so can't do that. That fight with Tybura, Fortune's corner was screaming at him at the Apex for more activity. It was crazy. I could hear them on the broadcast. Fortune isn't. Yeah, he's saying Fortune isn't garbage. Yeah, they're both. And Kuniev's actually decent though. Like Kuniev's actually okay for heavyweight standards. Wasn't the Blades Kuniev fight in the Middle East absurd stuff? I think it was, right?
Probably, because like a lot of these Russians won't come to the U.S. to fight, and a lot of them can't even get visas, Brady.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, if you're from Dagestan, if you're from Chechnya, you're going to have a hard time getting a short notice visa. And that's, you know, these guys don't take short notice fights anyway. So you're going to see a lot of them fighting in the Middle East. That makes sense that it would be.
It was Azerbaijan, which, right, technically it's not Middle East. Remember somebody yelled at us last time?
Yeah, that's right. It's just north of Iran, which is the Middle East. But I guess it's in like the Turkey division of nations, which is like right there on the border of Asia and Europe.
Yeah, so we can't call it the Middle East because somebody will get, I forget who it was. Somebody got really mad at us. They're like, that's not the Middle East. It's like, dude.
Yeah. Go tell C-SPAN, you know?
Yeah. Come on. Geez. The UFC was better for the fans before the testing, the
before
PED testing?
the probably saying drug testing, steroid testing before. You know, because you want these guys on steroids, you know, that's where you get the best athletes.
Yeah. Is MVP the best Bellator fighter to come into the UFC? I cannot think of many successes. Maybe some would say Chandler. I wouldn't say Chandler just because Chandler, I mean, he's had a rough go. I think he's like 1-7 in his last 8 fights. Yeah, MVP's really good. You know, people hate on him because his fights stink, but he's a very good fighter. I like MVP as a fighter.
He's exciting. He's an exciting striker, and he's had some flashy knockouts in Bellator, but they're not materializing against a better level of competition in the UFC.
Yeah. Just joined Korea, WTF. Yeah. Terrible, man. Just terrible. Blades won. Yoldis made a bad bet. What? I got
Kuniev at plus 200. Blades was the bad bet.
I didn't even bet on the fight. It was the wrong decision, dude. I had $0 on that. I even picked Blade. I picked Blades to win. I mean, sometimes you can admit that it was a bad decision. Brady Weezy, just for future reference, the haircut Tybura had is called the Zorg. It's the same haircut that Gary Oldman had as Emmanuel Zorg in the movie The Fifth Element, starring Bruce Willis. Yep. I know
you're a little young for that movie, but there were some weird costumes and haircuts in that movie. That's for sure.
Oh gosh. MVP, if he doesn't shave, he's like a 65-year-old grown man with gray hair.
Is he?
I don't know. I would like to see Chandler on the desk, though. I think he's well-spoken and has a good look. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, he could probably.
Tybura's haircut was legendarily bad. I mean, one of the worst haircuts out there. Question: what is your favorite fight on this card? I don't know. Oh, Axel Bonfim, my favorite fight. That's my favorite fight. How about you, Weez? Any favorite fight?
I mean, It's hard. I don't like this card, man. Temirov Urseg, I think, is interesting.
Yeah.
I think Temirov's kind of got a high ceiling because he has rare power for a division where you don't see a lot of power. But yeah, man, we're gonna have to see. 1 year steroid suspension. We'll see what he's got after that.
I kind of think this main card's horrible. Like Kuniev Fortune, horrible. Vagaev fight's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
Ankalaev fight, it's gonna be terrible. Urseg fight's gonna be cool, and Dulatov fight's gonna be cool, and then Chanka's gonna be cool, but kind of a weird bout order on this one. All right, I don't want to say anything about Charles Johnson. I don't want to get have to go against him in spaces, so I'm not gonna say anything about his haircut. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have the debut, Wheezy, of the Wild Chonko. We have, if I can get to the right, we have the return or the debut of the Wild Chonko, aka Chonko, aka John Pork, Magomed Zaynukov. He's taking on Damian Rzepecki. We got Zaynukov, 31 years old, 5'10" with a 68-inch reach. Damian, 24 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. We got Damian's going to be 7 years younger, same height. It's going to be Damian with a 5-inch reach advantage. Chonko, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Had a win on the Contender Series where he put up like 220 significant strikes. Phenomenal fight. But that fight was like almost a year and a half ago. I don't know what he's been up to, but finally making his debut. As far as Damian, he's 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He is also making his debut. So, yeah, man, John Pork seems like the real deal. I don't know what he's been up to. Has he been hurt? Wait, he's only been off for 9 months? That's not bad.
It was last season's Contender Series that he was on. He's just one of the last guys to fight. Him and Michael Oliveira. We're still kind of waiting for them.
It feels like so much longer ago. Maybe because the debut was like people were waiting for it so bad that it feels like longer. But 9 months isn't bad. Okay, that's good then. This guy is obviously very good. A lot of hype on the guy. Tons of tools on the feet, really good kicks, elite volume, can mix in the takedowns, can mix in the grappling, good cardio as well. Seems to be the real deal. He is 31 years old, making his debut here, but yeah, he looks good, and he's going to get a lot of wins in the UFC. And he's going against Damian Rzepecki, who's not some bum. I was actually kind of impressed with the boxing, the forward pressure, the toughness, the durability, but it's like I just think Magomed's better everywhere. Should be able to out-volume him, potentially mixing some takedowns as well. So I'm going with the Wild Chonko. How can you not go with the Wild Chonko? Am I going to be betting him at minus 400, minus 350? No, but I'll root for him. I'll sit back and enjoy this one. I think it's John Pork getting it done. Weezy, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I got to look more into this one. I saw Zaynukov on Dana White's Contender Series. I saw Rzepecki's fight against Rotaru, and that's his most recent fight. It was just about 3 months ago. But I need to look more into these guys. But yeah, Damon's 7 years younger. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage. He has more experience as a professional. He's been the more active fighter as of recently. And Zaynukov is a Muay Thai guy. And I don't think it's the best base for MMA because it'll give you good clinch work and it'll give you good toughness, but usually your defense is shit. And that's something that really does matter a lot at this level with the smaller gloves, the harder hitters. Guys in Muay Thai are just too hittable. So we're going to see if Zaynukov can show some defense, but he's a Nurmagomedov school guy, and this is an elite camp in terms of technical fighters that know how to win minutes, bank rounds, and then find the finish if it does wind up presenting itself. So, yeah, this guy's training around elite people, and he's in a camp where even though his base is striking, the base, discipline of the Nurmagomedov school is always going to be wrestling. So you would think that that's a great place to train for a striker who's probably going to look to strike more often than not. So you need to have that well-honed takedown defense, grappling defense, get-up game in order to be able to keep the fight where you want it. But I need to look more into Rzepecki. I think that this is wide for two debutantes where one of the guys is more experienced, 7 years younger, and has a 5-inch reach advantage and is a southpaw. So I think that there could potentially be some value on Rzepecki, but I got to go back and watch the fights, and I got to really kind of comb through the strength of schedule of both guys to see if this is a step up in competition for either one.
Yeah, I mean, you're just paying the hype tax here. You're paying the hype tax. You're paying the John Pork tax here, Wheezy. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get John Pork at a playable line here. It's the John Pork tax.
Yeah, imagine paying a tax on a personality, on a Russian fighter, where like his only redeeming factor is that somebody mispronounced his nickname and people thought his name was John Pork. You know, it's just so wild with these Dagestani fighters, man. They're so good, but they're so forgettable in terms of their personality or their ability to kind of just be able to gel with the audience and build some kind of like following in terms of their personality or likability.
Yeah, this guy has no personality, and he even came out and said, "No, don't call me John Pork. It's Chonko, not John Pork. Chonko." He hates it, dude. He hates it. But we're gonna keep calling him it. Let's go. Yeah, I don't want any of those. That's never good, man. John Pork. People like John Pork, man. People like this guy. People like this guy, man. This fight will be competitive. In fact, it's probably one of the more competitive fights on the card. It should be exciting. Both of these guys have a lot of problems. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, you got to pay the John Pork tax. We're putting him at minus 350. Rzepecki trains with Topuria. He's good. Well, Topuria got hit with the bop, 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 bop by Justin Gage. The bop, 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 bop. And who had that scruff on their chest last night? Somebody had that scruff on their chest last night.
Yeah, and they just got tossed around by it, didn't they?
It was Mitch Ramirez, and Chase Super took him by the scruff of his chest and went bop, 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 and submitted him in the first round. Don't come in there with scruff on your chest. You come in there with scruff on your chest, it's going to be a bad look. So, or scruff on your hair. You know, don't come in scruff on your hair, scruff on your chest, scruff on your back. It's just never good, Wheezy. Get that scruff out of here.
Yeah, look what happened to Rostam Akman.
Oh, yeah. You had the ass shaving. That guy got a back shaving in some of his fights. I mean, you had to clean it. They're bringing the broom after that guy fought. And that guy was one of the hairiest guys I've ever seen in my entire life. Disgusting. 216 people in the chat, only 117 likes. Shane, it's not bad. 117 is pretty good, but maybe we can get it to 150. You know, we can get to 150. Pork is a lock. The pork tax. Yep, you're paying the taxes. He's gonna win. The parlay boys are in town, man. The parlay boys are in town. All right, let's move on now to the next fight, and it is going to be, oh God, is this even a fight? It's Islam Dulatov going against the return of Wellington Turman. We got Dulatov, 27 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. Turman, 29 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Dulatov, 2 years younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Dulatov is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, all by finish. Made his debut against Adam Fugit, knocked him out brutally. Knocked him out cold, actually. It was the follow-up shots that put Fugit out cold. Went back and watched that one the other day. It was nasty. And then he knocked out, some bum on the Contender Series. But yeah, this guy is a finisher of the highest degree. Wellington Turman, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. His last win comes against Misha Serkinov back in 2022. Lost to Andre Petrosky, Randy Brown, and it got club and sub by Jared Gooden 3.5 years ago. Like, what are we doing here? Why? How can you bring back Wellington Turman on a 3-fight skid off of a 3.5-year layoff after, very bad injuries, multiple surgeries? What are we doing? I mean, it's Islam Dulatov is going to run through Turman. And the thing about Turman is, he's always been chinny. I'll never forget, he got sparked by Andrew Sanchez back in the day. He got TKO'd via grounded pound by Bruno Silva. Yeah. He basically got knocked out by Jared Gooden, but he got subbed. So the chin of Turman's in question. The fight IQ of Turman's always been in question for me. This guy's a black belt that very rarely grapples. So, yeah, I think it's Dulatov, and Dulatov's going to hit him with the bop, 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 bop. Give me Dulatov probably in the first round. We see how he typically wins.
Dulatov, round 1. This guy's got an average fight time of 3.4 minutes over 12 fights.
Oh,
you know, I mean, that's crazy, dude. He just goes out there and just runs through people in round 1. And Wellington Turman's been getting run through, you know. I mean, he's got destroyed by Gooden. Petrosky and Brown beat him pretty easily. And then the wins are over Sam Alvey and Misha Serkinov. Those were back in 2022 and 2021. And ordinarily, Islam Dulatov, because he's not a real fighter, he shows up like once a year. He's a model. He's a model first, and then he fights every once in a while so that he can kind of tell the modeling companies, hey, I'm like a tough guy too. You know, I fight. But he doesn't take tough fights, and he only shows up about once a year when he feels like it. And then he goes back to modeling and making a ton of money for smiling for the camera. So ordinarily, I would be telling you, tread lightly with Dulatov because you don't know what he looks like outside of round 1. You know, the only fight that's ever went to decision in his career, he lost it. And you know, the guy's he's not a fighter that's fighting consistently either. So there's a lot of unanswered questions with Dulatov. But with Turman, you already know everything it is that you need to know. The guy's on a 2.5-year layoff. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, and he wasn't good to begin with. So a guy like Dulatov, who's extremely dangerous early in fights, probably gets him out of there in round 1, and it's probably one of the worst round 1 props we see in a very long time, Brady.
It'd be so bad. Well, I don't know, because the under is like only minus 200. You would think, like, holy crap, it should be minus 400. The under is minus 200. I don't know what's going on this week.
We might get a bettable spot on Dulatov round 1.
We might. I mean, Andrew Sanchez sparked Turman in round 1. I mean, if Andrew Sanchez can do it, anybody could do it. So yeah, I mean, it should be Dulatov. He's, I think, the biggest favorite on the card, minus 700. It wouldn't shock me if it even got wider, which is crazy. But you mentioned, like, yeah, question marks outside the first round, but I don't know. I don't think it's getting out of the first round, to be honest. Yeah, under 2 or under 1.5 minus 200, over 1.5 is plus 174 there. So yeah, seems like a massive trap. Massive trap.
Yeah.
Beef Wellington Turman, you're good to see him back. You all see Cameron Smotherman choked out. No, but I need to go watch that because that's crazy. I'm gonna watch that after the show. This has to be the top 5 worst fight cards of the year. Yeah, it's not great, man. Some of these fights are just not great. A couple of these fights I am looking forward to, but yeah, I don't know. Wellington always looks like he just smelled a fart. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. How is Wellington still in the UFC? Probably has one more fight on the contract. You know, fight it out. He's probably going to look horrible, too, as well. So under normal circumstances, if Turman was coming here not off of a 3.5-year layoff, I still think Dulatov sparks him. But, like, what's he been doing the last 3.5 years? Dilly-dallying? 3.5 years of dilly-dallying, Weez? I don't know. Why 3.5 years is crazy. That's a long layoff.
Yeah, I mean, he's just about to turn 30 as well on the 22nd, so just before fight day, really.
Yeah. Dulatov by finish, under 1.5, smash. Yeah, hopefully Islam Dulatov doesn't like steak. Do they like steak over in Germany? I don't know.
They do, man.
That's... Wait, let me ask you this. Has Dulatov been hanging around at Extreme Couture for this camp by chance?
I don't think so. I think he's been modeling in Europe. So that's, you know, I don't think he's anywhere near Vegas. So, I mean, potentially, you know, he might just, and like, I don't think this guy really wants to be in there for very long. I think he's going to go out there and fight like he wants to finish in round 1.
I know. What I will say, he has been looking like a little more patient. In the Fugit fight was a little more patient, and same thing on the Contender Series, but he's still extremely aggressive. But you go back and watch this guy's first couple fights, he's like swarming you in the first like couple seconds. So why are you parlaying a minus 700? We hard to so he has the here's the Parlay Boys parlay, Weezy. Magomed Zaynukov minus 350, Rizvan Kuniev minus 250, Islam Dulatov minus 700. It comes out to plus 100. Parlay Boys, stand up. The Parlay Boys parlay. What do you think?
I mean, it's plus money. I mean, what could go wrong for a 3-leg parlay at plus 100? I mean, nothing is the answer to that question. Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah,
Parlay Boys, stand up. Stand up.
Let's go.
Stand up. Good point here. I mean, this guy doesn't want to get his face messed up. He's going to get in and get out, man. I mean, this fight might last 2 minutes. I mean, Herman might just fall down as soon as the fight starts, Weezy. We could get a gone in 60 seconds. You know, you never know. You never know. Yeah, this is a good point, though. Andrew Sanchez is the Marauder.
Yes.
He is a Marauder. You got that right. All right, we got to keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Steve Erceg going against Ramazan Temirov. We got Steve Erceg, 30 years old, 5'9", with a 69.5-inch reach. Ramazan Temirov, 29 years old, 5'4", with a 63-inch reach. We got Temirov 1 year younger. Erceg with a 5-inch height advantage and a 6.5-inch reach advantage. Steve Erceg is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Alexander Pantoja. Knockout loss to Kaikar France. Decision loss to Brandon Moreno. Decision win against Odi Osborne and a decision win against Tim Elliott. As far as Temirov, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Cedric Vergara and a decision win against Charles Johnson. This line is crashing down to the point of it being about a pick'em. We got Steve Erceg minus 116, Temirov minus 104. So Temirov is coming off of a PED suspension. And I bet on Charles Johnson that fight, man. I actually really like Charles Johnson that fight because Johnson's next level durable. I didn't think he was getting knocked out. Temirov's low volume. Charles should be able to out-volume him. You know, Temirov's not going to wrestle, nothing like that. But Temirov won the fight just because he rocked Johnson multiple times in the first and second round. Johnson started getting going in the third round. But, yeah, I mean, Steve Erceg's fought the much better competition. It's not even close. Steve Erceg's going to be much bigger. Steve Erceg never took PEDs, ever. You know, he's a clean fighter. He's not a cheater. Temirov has a lot of power, probably one of the hardest hitters in the entire division. And Steve Erceg's chinny. So I think that's what makes this fight so interesting is Steve Erceg, in my opinion, is so much freaking better. I mean, Temirov just wings wild hooks and hopes they land. His cardio stinks. His ground game's an unknown. His volume's very bad, but he has a lot of power. And Steve Erceg got dropped by Ode Osborne, and Steve Erceg got flatlined by Kaikar France. So there's a path here for Temirov to get that first round knockout or so. So yeah, about to pick him here. You can make pretty strong arguments for both guys. And that's probably why the line's about to pick him here. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this co-main event?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like Temirov, when I was watching his tape for the Johnson fight and I wound up betting on Charles Johnson, I was like, you know, I don't think this guy's skill set is going to really translate here in the UFC because he doesn't do anything. He throws a big overhand right. He throws spinning back kicks to the body, and that's it. Very low volume, no offensive wrestling, and his defensive wrestling isn't very good. And I was like, shit, man, this guy's he's just a power merchant with shit cardio. Well, it wound up being enough to beat Johnson, didn't it? Because sometimes he just doesn't get off. He just starts slow. And when you have power in a division where nobody has power, it means something. And when you throw every single strike that you throw with that power that you have, trying to hurt your opponent, you're gonna win moments and you're gonna do damage. And if you can limit the grappling upside of your opponent in that kind of a situation, you don't necessarily need to have great volume or be super technical or even have great cardio. You just got to do more damage than your opponent does to you. And that's kind of how Temirov fights. But Erceg is somebody who's 5 inches taller. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage, a massive strength of schedule advantage. He's been a lot more active. He just fought 3 months ago, while it's been almost 17 months for Ramazan because he's a fucking cheater. And he wasn't even smart enough to not get caught. I mean, when you're getting pinched for steroids and it's not even the USADA error, you know, like that's terrible. That's really irresponsible as a fighter, you know. It's like failing a basic facts math test. It's like, you got to circle the wagons. You got to be better than that, you know. So I feel like Erceg is just a much better fighter with way more tools to win this fight in more ways, and the higher level experience. The last 5 fights are against Pantoja, KKF, Brandon Moreno, Ode Osborne, and Tim Elliott. You know, while Temirov's last 5 fights are against Charles Johnson, CJ Vergara, Takaya Soya, Yuta Hamamoto, and Cake Alankar. So, you know, and he's minus 625 against Hamamoto. He's minus 350 against CJ Vergara. You know, so we got a lot to find out still about Ramazan Temirov. There's missing information there. So I think, you know, just based on that, Urseg is probably the side. But like I said, man, like what this guy Temirov does, it's going to win some fights at this level because he's got power, because he doesn't get hit a lot, and because a lot of people haven't really tried to grapple him that much.
Yeah. Man, for me, it's hard for me to pick knockout artists in the flyweight division unless you're Manel Kape.
Yeah.
It's just like we don't get a ton of knockouts in the like Alden Correa couldn't knock out Stuart Little last night. I mean, give me a break.
You see that defensive, I mean, like the shoulder rolling, the head moving, it was elite. I don't know where it came from, too. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, my God, his defense looks great. When did this happen?
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, maybe Temirov could potentially knock out Urseg because Urseg is very, very chinny. Very chinny. So, yeah, Urseg minus 116, Temirov minus 104. This line, yeah, Temirov's not even a dog anymore. Oh, wait, he's a dog still on a couple books. But for how long, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the Parlay boys might eat this week. I think the Parlay boys might eat this week for sure. Parlay is smacking. I think so. Temirov dog of the week. Well, he was. He's not a dog anymore. Temirov is going to do Steve like Kaikar France did. Yep, that's the worry for sure. For sure. Do you all think that Usman defends Allen's takedowns and TKOs him? You know, Brendan Allen, I'm not picking Usman to beat many people at this point. I mean, he looked awful. Like, he looked like he shouldn't have even been fighting last night.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked so bad. Temirov KO1. Yeah, I did cash a nice KO prop against CJ Vergara, and it almost didn't cash because Herzog refused to stop the fight. I mean, he knocked him down 3 times in that fight. Temirov is a lock. All right. So it looks like Steve Urseg's going to win. There we go. Hines is a can. Yep. Got that right. Hines is the GOAT. He was smiling way too much. You know, you can't smile that much, man. Wipe that smile off your face. Ankalaev's losing. Weezy, love the shirt. Are you going on a boat cruise? That'd be fun.
I'm never going on a cruise, dude. A cruise is for, and I am an old person, but I'm not that old, you know. Like maybe when I'm 80 and playing mahjong, I'll get on a cruise. But I
love cruises.
I'm not. You love cruises?
Yeah, I've been on like 6.
Are you kidding, man? Dude, you're too young for that. You're too
Cruises
young to like
awesome.
Cruises. Oh my God, dude! Like, man. I'm surprised by that, dude. I'm surprised you like cruises. And I'm not, you know what, though? That's not surprising. I'm a land lover, dude. I don't like being on the water.
I don't know. I like cruises. I don't know. But just take Temirov by KO and Urseg into the distance, both at plus money. What could go wrong? I mean, the under's plus money at that point. Under 2.5 rounds is plus 149. That's not bad considering Temirov. He's probably got to get a knockout to win this fight. And then Temirov's ground game is a complete unknown. Although, you know, I did see him get subbed like back in the day. So, yeah, maybe Urseg can get a sub. Maybe Temirov can get a knockout, something like that. No disrespect, for sure. For sure. Wonder what Urseg decision only will be. Probably a very bad, unplayable number. Maybe. You never know, though. If you're doing Temirov, I would do either KO or finish only. Agreed. Or just sprinkle the KO one. Steve was getting cooked by Ode Osborne. He got hurt bad in the first round against Ode Osborne. Tim Elliott is an exciting fighter, but he couldn't find his rhythm for this boring fighter. Ursig almost beat Pantoja. People forget. Yeah, he was like one mistake away from beating Pantoja, which is crazy. Ursig might be washed. That'd be kind of crazy because he's only like 30 years old. Fight goes the distance. Maybe another parlay leg for Pork. I'm not parlaying Pork, man. So I don't know. Yeah, this dude, stop smiling, man. I hate that. Like, wipe the smile off your face, man. Wipe it off your face. Weezy depends on the cruise line. Brady, do not go in Crystal Cruise Line. Average age is like 70, and you have to have an oxygen tank to board. Yeah, I've never even heard of Crystal Cruise Line, so I don't know. Sorry, I was doing voice to text. Yeah, you and Dumas do the same exact thing, voice to text. I like boats, but cruisers, hard pass. The Titanic and Poop Cruise ruined it. Yeah, thank goodness I wasn't on the Poop Cruise, man. That sounds really, really shitty.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, moving on now to the main event. We got Magomed Aliev going against Bogdan Guskov. We got Aliev, 34 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. Guskov, 33 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Guskov, 1 year younger, same height, 1-inch reach advantage for Guskov. Aliev, 3-1 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. No contest against Johnny Walker. Knockout win against Johnny Walker. Decision win against Alexander Rakic. Decision win against Alex Pereira. And then a knockout loss against Alex Pereira. As far as Guskov, 4-0 and 1 draw in his last 5 fights. Knocked out the very durable Zach Palga. Knocked out the very trustworthy Ryan Spann. Submitted Billy Elikana and knocked out Nikita Krylov. And then had a draw against Jan Blachowicz. So, I mean, it's an Aliev fight, Weezy. It's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. We're going to fall asleep. I mean, this guy, like you said yourself, he's lazy. He's one of the laziest guys in the UFC, but he's very good, obviously. He's a very good fighter. He only has 2 losses. One was a borderline fluke against Paul Craig, late round 3, tapped with the second left. And then the other one was against Alex Pereira. But he's a very good fighter. He's very technical. He's not going to take a lot of chances. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. You know, he's very defensively responsible, and it makes for his fights being pretty boring. You know, low volume, makes his opponents low volume. He's going to mix in some cage pushing, some takedowns, stuff like that. So, but with Guskov, I don't know. I mean, with Guskov, this fight might be a little more exciting because he's going against Guskov, who actually does stuff. So, I don't know, man. Aliev is minus 550. Guskov's plus 400. Guskov has a puncher's chance, and that's really about it. What do you think?
Well, Brady, I think it's Guskov's season, but you got to let me finish. You got to let me kind of build a narrative here, and then let's see what when we come out the other end, let's see where we're at, right? Because
yeah, let's do it.
I remember watching the tape on Guskov and being not impressed when he came into the UFC, and I made Volkan Ozdemir the ass shaving of the week that week, and he had a great performance, got a takedown, something that Volkan never does. And then he exposes Bogdan on the ground and submits him shortly thereafter, right? So I say to myself, wow, this guy Guskov has got a huge hole in his grappling game, but he's got a ton of power on the feet. So as long as he's fighting guys that are smart fighters that know to wrestle him and close distance, he should be able to be beatable at this level. So then I went and I bet on Zach Palga to beat him. And I remember talking about that fight. And I remember hearing an interview with Zach Palga. And what did he say, Brady? He said, look, I watched the tape on Bogdan Guskov, and I'm not stupid. I'm going to go out there and wrestle this guy. And he goes out there and he shoots 0 takedowns, and he gets bonked in the first round and knocked out. And I say, God damn it, I lost it. But he's fighting Ryan Spann next. And Ryan Spann is way bigger and more physical and more athletic than Zach Palga, right? And Spann's got a really good ground game. I mean, if you wind up in his guillotine, it's nighty-night, keep your butthole tight. If you wind up underneath that dude, he's going to abuse you from top position. So Ryan Spann goes out there and gets a takedown in round 1, gets to his back and basically almost 10-8s him. And then goes out there in round 2 and doesn't grapple and gets knocked out. I say, God damn it, I just lost money on Ryan Spann. But this Billy Elikana, he's a smart fighter and he's durable. And he's got a good grappling game as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. So he goes out there and he gets a takedown against Bogdan Guskov, takes his back, wins the first round, but he takes the fight on 3 days' notice, gasses out, gets finished in the second round because he can't grapple anymore and he gets knocked out. But Nikita Krylov is a great grappler. So, of course, Nikita Krylov is going to go out there and take down Bogdan Guskov, right? Because you'd have to be an idiot. You would have to be an absolute idiot to go out there and strike with Bogdan Guskov. and Krylov goes out there and strikes with Bogdan Guskov, and he gets knocked out. And then I say, okay, all right. But he's not going to do it to Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz is a former champion. He's fought against Alex Pereira and almost beat him. You know, Jan Blachowicz is going to go out there and he's going to wrestle this guy. Nope. 0 takedowns. Nothing happens. He winds up losing. The fight winds up being a draw because Jan gets badly hurt in the second round and 10-8'd, but he wins rounds 1 and 3. So here we got Magomed Ankalaev, and there's no way that Bogdan Guskov can keep getting away with this shit, right, Brady? Right?
I mean, if you're saying is Ankalaev going to wrestle, probably not.
Exactly. Because you would have to have some kind of motivation. You would have to have some kind of passion for life. You would have to have some kind of exuberance, some kind of youthful love of your own profession. But no, the only thing Magomed Ankalaev lacks more than urgency is personality or likability. Okay? And what's he going to do? Is he going to go out there? Is he going to wrestle Bogdan Guskov? No, because he has the urgency of a bureaucrat. He's going to stay at distance striking range, and he's going to absorb a big shot, and he's going to get knocked the fuck out. That's what's going to happen. Because Bogdan Guskov is going to keep getting away with this shit, Brady, until somebody with a fucking brain goes out there and wrestles this fucking guy. And until that happens, until somebody shows the fight IQ of Volkan Ozdemir, and that's never been said, never been said in the history of MMA capping, that I need this guy to go out there and show some Volkan Ozdemir type fight IQ. Dude, Bogdan Guskov is going to knock this guy out. And we're all going to say, oh my God, he just got away with it again because another brain-dead idiot refused to grapple this guy. Do you remember the Jan Blachowicz Magomed Ankalaev fight where he's getting his calf kicked off for 3 rounds? And then in typical Jimmy Crute fashion, Brady, after his calf is completely shut off and he's on one leg, he shoots the worst takedown attempt in the world, gets it, consolidates top position, and wins the next 2 rounds wrestling on one leg. If he was smart enough to start wrestling earlier in the fight, he would have actually won it and finished it and been champion. Is Magomed Ankalaev going to wrestle, Brady? Yes or no question?
No, he's not.
Exactly. Bogdan Guskov is plus 400.
Oh.
This dumb motherfucker is going to walk right into a right hand. You watch it. Dude, I'm telling you. And we're going to say, oh my God, why is he not wrestling? Why is he not wrestling?
I'm not going to say that.
And Bogdan's going to absolutely smoke him. I think I'm going to have some money. This guy's done it to me so many goddamn times. And I'm not laying minus 550. You cannot lay minus 550 on fucking Ankalaev, Brady.
No.
When has he ever looked minus 550?
Against Kuniev.
Against Johnny Walker?
Against Kuniev twice.
Yeah, against Kuniev. Even Kuniev, the first time he was doing fine. He just actually played possum into a knockout. The first time that Jason Herzog has ever prematurely stopped the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like the over. I was shocked to see it set at 2.5. It's an Ankalaev fight. Over 2.5 is plus 153. Nothing's going to happen.
0.5 takedown attempts from Magomed Ankalaev, minus 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Dude, I'm telling you, as somebody who has bet against this prick in every goddamn fight, waiting for somebody to wrestle him, I've got to put money on golf. I don't care if I lose it. I don't care. I'm not missing out on this opportunity. He can't keep getting away with it. I said it after the Pauga fight. He can't keep getting away with it. I said it after the Span fight. He can't keep getting away with it. I said it after the Alicana fight. There's no way that Nikita Krylov's not going to grapple this guy. Knocked out in the first round. Well, he's not going to beat a former champion. Winds up knocking him down in the 10-8ing him in the second and wind up getting a draw. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you can't count on him to wrestle, but he did attempt 12 takedowns in the first Pereira fight, which is crazy. So he actually did come in there with good fight IQ. He just couldn't get Pereira down.
Yeah, but like sometimes there's takedown attempts and there's takedown attempts, Tracy Cortez had 9 takedown attempts against Wang Kong, but she didn't have one decent one.
Yeah.
And I think it was like wasn't the first Pereira fight just like a clinch fest?
Yeah, it was a clinch fest.
Yeah. And I think a lot of those takedown attempts were kind of like from the clinch and they were kind of just half-assed. So I don't know. Guskov's got serious power. I obviously have had a history with Bogdan Guskov fights, which is why I was so passionate for this breakdown, Brady. But I got a feeling I'm going to have money on Guskov this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big dog. I will not have money on this fight, but I kind of like the over, which I never say. Like, I never say that, but I kind of like the over.
It's an Ankalaev fight.
This could be a clinch fest. I mean, he could clinch him for 25 minutes. And then at distance, I know Ankalaev's not going to do anything. I mean, this could look sweat-free. So, yeah, I kind of like the over, but, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, Ankalaev is sitting at minus 550. Guskov plus 400. Over-under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 plus 153. The under 2.5 is minus 175. What do you guys like in this fight here? You're pumping people up, man. You're pumping people up with this Guskov breakdown.
Hey, people respond to passion, Brady. They do.
You got that right. When people start talking about Ankalaev's wrestling, they really don't understand his game. He's a striker first. I don't expect him to wrestle, and I don't expect him to need it. Yeah, he's not going to wrestle, man. I mean, if he does, he will look minus 550, but he's not going to wrestle. Ank has low fight IQ. He tried to strike with Alex.
Yeah.
Weezy, please don't bet Guskov.
Dude, fucking Ankalaev is minus 550. This guy lands like 2 significant strikes per minute. You fucking lay minus 550 on this guy.
You can't do that. He outstruck Alex. Did you not see the first fight? Yeah, he's a very good striker. He's very good at what?
Sorry, go ahead. I
was just saying he's very good at limiting the output of he kind of puts his opponents to sleep. He outlanded Alex Pereira at distance 75 to 69 in the first fight. The second fight, he did not win the striking exchanges, though.
And that was the worst version of Alex Pereira that has ever set foot in the UFC octagon.
Yeah, he outstruck Alex. Did you not? Alex or Guskov via KO? Yeah, maybe, man. This is the greatest fight breakdown I've ever heard.
Yes, it is.
Let's go. Guskov, parent Uncle Weezy. This is your new favorite fighter, Bogdan Guskov. Let's go. Guskov KO 345 plus 2,000. Maybe, man. Maybe. Bro, I don't even like Ank, but he's a great fighter. I expect him to bounce back strong after his loss. Ank better everywhere. Guskov only has a power advantage. Ank submission, probably a massive number because, he finishes nobody ever. We got Dravi with the 27.99 Canadian. Appreciate you, Dravi. I know Dravi had a big night last night. What do you have? He had the...
Dude, he had basically all the same reads as me, but somehow he made 9 units and I lost 1.3. The guy's an assassin.
Jean
so fucking good.
Heck yeah, shout out to Dravi.
Yeah, JPL Moneyline, I played the finish only. I said that I picked Franco to win, but didn't bet him as an underdog. And then he had the Klein finish props just like I did. He had the under 1.5 and Tommy McMillan. Dude, Dravi probably should have won 20 units last night.
Jeez. Yeah.
I'm not joking. And then he poor guy bets on fucking Kamaru, and the guy now all of a sudden is a striker.
Yeah.
0 takedown attempts for the first 14 minutes. Dravi had to be punching air.
And then Kamaru was a little upset at the decision as well, which is funny.
Yeah. A little bit.
We got the Boogeyman is on the Guskov 2 KO or points. There, he's a big dog, man. Big dog. Weird fight. I'm certain ends in KO, but I really like the over 2.5 too. Yeah, kind of feels like everything on this card feels like a massive trap to me. Why is an Ankalaev over big plus money? Like, has nobody ever seen this guy fight? This guy does nothing. I mean, I don't know. I just never thought Ank was all that good. He's good. He's just so boring, dude. I'm not betting Magomed. I don't ever bet anyone over minus 500.
Yeah.
He's winning.
Yeah.
Colby wins. Kamara loses. The world is healing.
I like that.
I can't believe Colby Covington lost to Joaquin Buckley. I mean, Joaquin Buckley has the worst grappling in the entire UFC. I can't. And then Colby lost to Leon Edwards. He lost to Leon Edwards. I just can't believe it.
Couldn't take down Leon Scott, man.
So I'm still upset with Colby Covington because of that. Like, how do you lose to Joaquin Buckley? You know, a gust of wind can take down Buckley. All right. Over 1.5 Dulatov and Ribeiro fights parlayed is plus 135. Seems to
be under. You mean under?
The under. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a massive trap. Everything's a trap this week. Crazy. All right. So what we're gonna do now, Weezy, we're gonna talk about the piping of the week and the milking of the week. We need to bounce back. You know, we're not looking for a win. Who cares? Who cares that Christian Leroy Duncan beat a 42-year-old Jared Cannonier who's completely washed and done? Who cares? We needed him to pipe Cannonier. We needed him to go out there and, you know, have them carry out Jared Cannonier on a stretcher, and that did not happen. You know, he hurt Cannonier multiple times, but instead of finishing, he did some spinning attacks. He did some clinching. He did some falling, but he didn't pipe Jared Cannonier on site. So we need to bounce back from the piping. The milking, however, this is what we're looking for in a milking. Barbosa knew the game plan. Take down Melisano, choke her out. Simple as that. So the milking, A+. The piping, D. For Duncan. For dumbass. We got to bounce back, Weezy. So there's some options, man. There's some options for the piping. So you'll give 2 options, I'll give 2 options, and then we will vote for the piping of the week in the chat.
All right, definitely some phenomenal options for the piping, but I'm going to go with the one that's jumping out the most to me, and it's Sam Patterson to pipe Santiago Ponzinibbio on site. Just differences in age, differences in power, career trajectory, momentum. It all favors the Patterson side, and he's got some grappling upside too, but Ponzinibbio's chin looks cooked, and Patterson's got deceptive power.
I like it. So yeah, Patterson's a good option. I'm gonna go with another good option. It's gonna be Islam Dulatov to pipe Wellington Turman on site.
Yep, that's a very, very good one as well. And I'm gonna go with Abdul Hussein because he's coming off knocking out Tyson Nam, who's known to be a very durable fighter. And he didn't just knock him out. Like, he put him out cold. And it was a nasty shot. Perfectly timed right hand that I don't even think Nam saw it coming. So I think he's got a real good chance to pipe a 39-year-old bantamweight on a losing streak in Cody Gibson.
I thought you were going to go with Guskov for a second.
I was actually going to do that, yeah, because he's going to pipe this idiot on. I can't wait for it, man.
And I'll throw one more out there. I think these 3 are the best options, but I'll throw one more out there. And I guess I'll go Axel Sola, actually. I'll go Axel Sola. It could be a milking, but I'll go Axel Sola.
Yeah, I think that's a good one, too.
Axel Sola. All right. So we'll start the poll there. The other one I was going to throw out would be like Dustin Jacoby, just because I think somebody's probably getting piped in that one, but we'll stick with these 4. Islam Dulatov, Sam Patterson, Abdul Hussein, and then Axel Sola for the piping. Get in and vote. We have 220 watching on YouTube. That means we should get at least 50 votes, right? At least 50?
You would hope.
Yeah, you would hope. You would hope. All right, so let's let them vote there. Excuse maker as well is getting sued for ripping off hundreds of people in the UK. Who's this?
Oh, I think he's talking about Alex Pereira.
Okay. Dulatov easy piping. Dulatov first round piping on site.
Yeah.
Izagakhmaev to pipe easy pick to pipe the fans because people are gonna fall asleep during that fight. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awful. All right. Let's see where the votes are at. Yeah. Couple more seconds, guys. It's really not even close. So I could probably end it here. All right. So piping of the week. In fourth place, Axel Sola, 13%. Third place, Abdul Hussein, 16%. Second place, Sam Patterson, 23%. And the piping of the week, Weezy, is Islam Dulatov to pipe Wellington Terman on site.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Islam Dulatov. And he's going to go have sex with some hot bitches after as well.
Yeah, he probably will, man. I think that guy's not having a whole lot of problems getting good-looking women.
Wellington Terman on site. Probably going to spend more time with the bitches than he's going to spend with Terman in the cage.
Could be, man. Could be.
Yeah. What is he with Izagakhmaev, dude? What are you doing, man?
Only person getting piped in that fight is whoever's betting the under.
Exactly. All right. So the fight of the week is Islam fight Wellington Terman onside. There we go. All right. Now it is time for the milking, Wheezy. I will let you give your first option for the milking. Who's going to milk their opponent?
I'm going with Valter Walker to milk Thomas Petersen. Like, Petersen's, a very good wrestler, but he's just outsized here. He's trying to wrestle somebody 50 pounds heavier than you is going to be a problem. So yeah, I'm going with Walker.
There's so many good milkings here. I'm going to go with Abdul Hussein. I know he's a piping candidate, and he could pipe Gibson, but I also think he can give Gibson like a 6th submission loss as well. So I'm going Hussein for the milking as well. What do you think for the next option, Weezy?
I'm going to go with all right, I got one. It's there's no line for it yet. It's Vagaev.
Oh, the guy's
that's what he does. Hey,
yeah, that's what he does.
He's got 20 decisions and he's won 19 of them. And he's gonna get takedowns. He's gonna get to half guard. And he's gonna milk you dry for 3 rounds.
He's gonna milk the fans of boredom. I mean, that guy's
yes, indeed.
Jeez,
that's what I'm doing around 3 a.m. Brady when it's time for bed. Mm-hmm. I'm taping Vagaev, and I'm going to put on one of those 5-round fights in ACA, and it's just going to be snore town. I'm going to fall asleep on the couch. You watch.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of options. Like, you can go Nurullo Aliev is a potential milking. You could go even like Axel Sola could milk Bonfim, make him quit late. But I'm going to go with Magomed Tuchalov to milk Brendson Ribeiro, who might have a fetish of getting milked. He got milked by Omar C. He got milked by in his last fight. He gets milked all the time. So, all right, there is the poll there for the milking. We got Valter Walker, Abdul Hussein, Magomed Tuchalov, and Vagaev. All right, they vote there. And yeah, he could. That's the thing. That's the thing with some of these fights. Like, Hussein could pipe Gibson, or he could milk him. Tuchalov could pipe Ribeiro, or he could milk him. Some of these guys have multiple paths. Whereas with Dulatov, he doesn't really milk. He pipes on site. He gets it done quick. All right, Weezy, let's talk about some Underdog. And guys, by the way, if you guys want to support us, the best way to do so is checking out Underdog Fantasy. Use code DFSBTN. You'll get $50 free when you play your first $5 lineup. Anything sticking out on Underdog, Uncle Weez? Anything out yet? Have you checked?
Yeah, we've got fight time props out, and there are some spots that I do like. I don't mind at all taking an under. In the well, there's a couple of unders that are really nice, but I think the one that I like best, and I'll leave the one that you're probably going to like best for you. I'm going with the Sam Patterson under 7.5 fight time. At lower is 0.79x. And I might wait to see if I can get a better number on just a Patterson like knockout or a finish over higher than 0.5. But I like a Patterson under this week. I think that he's going to knock out Ponzinibbio in round 1.
And I'll go Dulatov lower than 7.5. I think those make a lot of sense.
Absolutely. I like it too. I'm throwing a little couch cushion money on that. Let's see if it hits.
Yeah, so it's still Sunday, so tomorrow they'll have the rest out. But yeah, right now, fight time. Also, don't mind the Aliev higher on the 12.5. What else? Oh, what the heck? They have Wild Chonko at 7.5. I mean, that's going higher. I mean, this.
Yeah, and that's a big price. It's only 0.69x for higher, so people are definitely on that one. But that's a generous number at 7.5.
Yeah, I don't know why it said 7.5. Oh, Tuchalov is at 7.5 too. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do like a three piece. You could do Patterson lower, Tuchalov lower, Dulatov lower. All makes sense to me. So, yeah, guys, check it out. Use that code. Really appreciate that. Aliev milking, yes, he could milk. Maybe have multiple milkings this Saturday. I would tend to agree. All right, let's check and see who is going to be the milking of the week. And it's really not even close. So in fourth place, Abdul Hussein at 9%. At third place, Vagaev at 13%. Second place is Tuchalov at 25%. In the first place, by far and away, Valter Walker to milk Thomas Petersen. Weezy, do trains have milk? Apparently they do.
Yeah, I guess if you go to the drink cart and you ask for it, maybe they're going to have it for you there. But I mean, I think that this guy is just so much more big and physical than Petersen that we could see him win the wrestling exchanges of this fight. And if he does do that, I mean, I think he's going to look way better than -180, -190.
Yeah.
Because Tom just doesn't have a whole lot to offer at distance striking range in terms of danger there. I mean, it's not like Valter's got great striking either, but he can clinch him up and he can win the wrestling.
Milk of the week, Valter Walker to milk Thomas Petersen on site. You heard it here first. So there we go. Went through all. How many fights we got? 13, 12?
13 on this one, I think.
Not bad. Not bad. So we'll be back, of course, for the fight companion, all the good stuff. Well, we usually let the people know where they can find you and support you.
Yeah, these guys already know, right? I mean, YouTube, Rumble, both at Uncle Weezy. On X, I'm at MMA Weezy, and I'm on oddshopper.com where you can find my $25 a month probability stats and content package that gives you access to the spreadsheet every week, which has the profile stats, the stats matchups, the over-under betting model, the prop betting model, individual fighter stats, DFS stats. All of my Discord rooms have links to PowerPoint presentations on every single fight that take you through the most important statistics. If you are a serious MMA gambler that's putting money on these fights every single week and you're putting a lot of it down, you're going to want to probably have access to the kind of information that I sell to my subscribers. So check me out on oddshopper.com if you want to support my work. But we need a bounce back week, Brady. We had great reads last week. The bounces didn't go our way. Let's have great reads this week and have the bounces go our way and stack cashed tickets like flapjacks in everybody's favorite part of the world, Abu Dhabi.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Wow, it feels so good. This time slot's amazing. It's 10 o'clock. You know, still have the evening to myself. This is nice. Yeah. This is nice. I love it. And plus, this is one of our most watched shows. We got 500 right now watching between X and YouTube. So I think
people
the Sunday
appreciate us being early.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. There's no competition. And somebody said it earlier. This is big for the employed yes. people that have jobs. They can watch it. It's because employed people, they can't stay up at like 3:00 in the morning listening to us talk about WikiFeed.
It just doesn't work. You're going to get fired if you're doing that shit. So this is definitely a lot more responsible for people.
Heck yeah. All right, y'all. Before you head out, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Be on the lookout for more content. And best of luck for UFC Abu Dhabi. See you guys later.